Running from the space.
Colorado Rough Milk.
Sully.
Let's back.
I got 2, 2, 3s. I'ma play it close. The people's I redeem, but I'ma let it go. Got enemies and know my score. Drilling shit is all I know, and I'm home. Close. The beef is already, but I'ma let it go. Got enemies and go on my score. Drilling shit is all I know. And I'm on. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I'ma let it go. Get it from the gutter, yeah. Put it on the stove. Been whipping so long, hear bleed through my pores. But boy, the raw get gone before I finish this song. Keep a Glock 40 on me to sleep, in case the eyes try to slide my dreams. It seems I see, just to get ahead, a nigga gotta go through defeat. Death coming waves, the 2s or 3s. Cloning Mike George, low 2, 2, 3s. The difference in distance shrinks. Point blank range equals 6 feet deep on the G. I guess 2, 2, 3s. I'ma play it close. Beef is irony, but I'ma let it go. Got enemies and know my score. Drilling shit is all I know, and I'm home. beat, brought it from the space.
Colorado for milk.
Sully.
I got 2, 2, 3s. I'ma play it close. Beef is I redeem, but I'ma let it go. Got enemies and know my score. Drilling shit is all I know, and I'm home.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, what up? What up? What up?
Hey, y'all good? Y'all good?
Hey.
Another
Let's get to
day,
the
man.
intro.
Another day.
For sure. Welcome to the SPS Podcast. You are here and you are joining us now on our topic for the day, F them kids. I'm your host, DJ Strata, and we about to get into this. Giovanna, what's going on? How you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. CJ, what it is, brother?
Boy, I just got back from the gym, so I'm good, man. I'm feeling it.
Okay. Well, we're going to see how long that lasts for because we definitely got a show. It's not going to go quite how you think. I know the title was a little wild, but I
love
figured,
it.
yeah, just a tad bit, not a lot, just a little wild. But I figured it'd help us bring some minds to the channel and really bring some awareness to the topic. So with that being said, we're going to get right into it, man. Just to let you know, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Go to the SPS, smash that like button, how they say on the YouTube. Make sure we get into the algorithms. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. And also in the live chat, there is a link. Go to the YouTube page, click on the link if you want to join us in the conversation. So with that being said, let's get to our first question. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to see. We are definitely going to see. So the first question for this evening, man, can single mothers raise children without men? Can single mothers raise children without men? Giovanna, what you think?
I mean, they can. Is it something they won't? Maybe not, but if it's possible, yeah, they can.
Okay. What do you think would be the outcome if they were to do it without a man versus if they did it with a man?
It really kind of hard to say because really depending on how that single woman parent their child and discipline their child, in that manner. It can be good, or it can come out kind of rough as well. If they don't, it's kind of hard to say. I know most people in the American way of life, oh, you want mom and pop in the house. Sometimes you think that's the best household, and sometimes even those households are not successful with the way they parent their child, the way their child turn out, because they're still an adult too. He or she's still going to make decisions, as they growing older.
Can you speak to the situations to where maybe there's a mother and a father and it's not ideal? Tell me more about what you mean by that.
So they may not be as strict in their parenting as the single mother would, because the single mother is just her by herself. So
Right.
she kind of really don't have too much room for error. Not saying neither do the double occupancy of parents either, but it's a little bit majority of the time like a tight ring.
Okay, that makes sense. That's fair. I think that's fair. What do you think? I mean, we all know in the ideal world that you would want 2-parent households, but can you think of maybe examples in your life, Giovanna, to where you've seen the single mother, great parent or great children, and then can you give me an example where it wasn't so good?
You said where she was a great parent?
Yeah, to where her children yielded great results, and then give me an example of the single mothers where the results weren't so great.
I would say just even for us, my brothers and I, like in our younger days, we had a single mother. It's 3 of us.
Right.
So, she's still, worked and did what she did. And, she made ends meet. We had somewhere to stay. We had something to eat. We was clothed. We went to school and, decent living style and stuff like that. It was some mishaps in there, but for the most part, for us being young, we didn't know what you was missing out, during that time. And then like now the times are different. And you said from a single parent where it didn't.
What the results, it didn't go quite so well.
So I know a situation like I would say within a family member. I'm not gonna name anybody because
of course not.
I don't want to expose anybody, but I just think that there was a little maybe too harsh on the child, and it kind of just made the child more like an angry young man in that aspect, and it didn't like seeing where the child is at now. I know some of that stuff probably could have got corrected within the way that there was discipline and raised when they was a little bit younger.
What do you think the harshness came from?
Majority of the time, I don't think parents want to see their child go through what they went through. So they'll try to protect that or try to guard that from happening. And sometimes in that is more so of a harsh discipline style or, in that manner.
That makes sense. I'll speak to that for a little bit, then we'll turn it over to CJ. Like my mother, again, she was a single mother. It was 4 of us, 4 boys. And I think that this is just my interpretation, right? Like we talk about it, but I haven't really like delved into it with my mom so much about, her parenting style or why she chose it. But I think that a lot of times her harshness probably had to do with the fact she had all boys, right? So I think the need for her to express her feminine side at all times was a little bit minimized, because what would that do for her boys? You know what I'm saying? I think that was her logic at the time. Like, I'm raising young men, so I think that in the times of where she had to be the authoritative voice, she really wanted to hit home. You know what I'm saying? So that tone was harsh, right? And I think that it was a way to kind of provide that balance of the lack of masculinity from somebody other than just us. You know what I mean? I think that it did affect us all, my brothers and I, differently. But I will say that, like you said, I think my brothers and I, we all are dope examples of what happens when it goes right. You know what I'm saying? We all seem to have gotten it together. We're upright men. We make mistakes. We human, but I think that she did a good enough job with what she had. You feel me? Like, it's tough. It was tough, but I do think that a lot of her harshness, I think in her mind, the overcorrection is what she was shooting for to ensure we wasn't lacking. so to speak. So, things that seem small to us and minuscule, I think she did her best to correct bad habits early. You know what I mean? And I think that now I think this could be a downfall to a single mother being that way, especially if she has all boys, is that you're so busy trying to correct behaviors that sometimes you forget to even show your sons what femininity looks like in its true form. But I get it. I mean, be feminine for who? You feel me? Like, she was a mother to us. Like, we laughed, we joked, we had good times, but it's like there wasn't, I think, with the a father figure or masculine energy being missing, we didn't really get to see her in her true feminine form, because like, who would she be displaying it to? She's our mother, you know what I'm saying? So we wouldn't expect to get it from her that way. So, I think that could be something that, I would tell single mothers to be mindful of is, don't forget your femininity, no matter the gender of your children, because if you got boys, then, they're looking like they'll, and I think that with young boys, I think a lot of times they'll shape a lot of the future women they deal with, either that are similar to or vastly different from their mothers. I think is shaped from how they perceive their mother, right? And so you got some guys that were raised by single mothers that look for women that are just like their mother, either that authoritative figure or some shit. Then you got some guys, it's like, yo, that was a complete no for me. So now I'm trying to find the exact opposite. You know what I'm saying? But either way, how single mothers carry themselves, at least to their sons, affect how they see the world and how they see other women. You know what I mean? So that's just my perspective on it. But we're gonna get to CJ, man. Can single mothers raise children without men?
I mean, if they got government assistance, most of them can raise them nurturally, like based off of like feeding them, clothing them, making sure they get to school, quote unquote, because some get homeschooled. Um, but if you're talking about like raising their mental, I don't think that's something that a mother can do by herself. In most cases, I feel like a man that was raised in a more rugged environment where he had to learn how to adapt to certain things. First off, even if he was in a good environment as a man, he has to be taught to adapt to certain things because he's a man in general or a
Right.
boy in general. So if he gets raised as a boy, but also gets put into a rough environment where he has to adapt to that environment and adapt to the very fact that he was born a boy, he also has to mentally adjust to more than one thing to the point as he gets older, he's able to adapt to different things. And ultimately, those experiences from a child all the way up to an adult, he can teach in two directions without having to shift himself, so to
So,
speak.
so based on that logic, you think that boys are more adaptable with single mothers?
I think, no, what I'm saying is, I think when it comes to raising children, I think boys that grew into men based off of that lifestyle of growth where they had to adapt to certain things, that man that becomes a father, and if he was a single father raising a kid, he's more able to adjust and adapt to that child and what they're doing, and actually put the effort to mentally feed their mental as to like, hey, do's and don'ts, what you should not do, and the reasons why.
Okay.
I'm not just going to come at you because you did something wrong and beat you and then tell you to go to your room and let you cry it out. No, I'm going to address you, tell you what you did wrong, and then, hey, if you keep this up, these are the consequences, not just for this, but what could happen in life for you doing the same thing. So I think the difference is that a mother for sure can definitely raise a kid as far as keeping them alive. I'm not
Right.
trying to like belittle it, but like when I mean keeping them alive, I mean like they're really going to protect that child. They're really going to make sure that child's healthy for the best they can be, keep them clothed, keep them under a house, keep them safe.
Right.
But in that aspect of raising, a mother can technically do that by herself, even though odds are she will have some type of assistance, like government assistance, family, a village, whatever the case may be.
Right.
While honestly will say when it comes to that mental part, I don't think most mothers, and I'm not saying this because like I'm going off of just my own mother. I grew up in neighborhoods where I hung around mostly my friends and their parents.
Right.
So like whether they was with most of my friends only had single mothers, but there are those kids, those homeboys that had the father, but he just wasn't in the house with them. So every now and then he'll go to the dad house, and I still get to hang out with him at his dad house, and you'll notice the difference
True.
in how the mother was treating them and how the father was treating them, how the mother acts to certain things, and then he'll do the same thing with the dad and how the dad responds to it. And you notice the major difference in the responses of these parents. So
Okay.
I would definitely say it as far as the question goes, can they technically yes with help?
Okay. Do you think that the results are different when you're speaking about single mothers and maybe little girls and daughters? Do you think there's a difference?
Between raising daughters and raising sons?
Right.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
Tell me
definitely.
more.
Yes. If a bro, and I can't, and deep down, I cannot even think of a mother that I know that did it differently. And I know a lot from my age to older and younger, but most of them definitely, I feel like they look at their child, their daughters, as if like I know what I used to do back in this at this age, at this time frame. And if I so much as feel like you doing that, I'm a spaz. I'm gonna react out of emotion. I'm gonna get triggered and I'm gonna come at you crazy or not so much as crazy, but come at you in a negative way. My response to you is not what I should have done, but they're gonna do it because what are they always gonna say? I know what's right for my child. And no, it's not always the case. So
Okay.
I think a lot of times their response is them thinking of what they did in their life and how they knew what they did at that time frame was not best. So
Gotcha.
they're responding that way, even though odds are your child's probably going to more than likely do it because you're coming at them that way.
Mm.
So you kind of just feeding the fire instead of taking it out.
That makes sense. We got some comments coming in early here. Shout out to Baby Sneak. I finally caught, oh, yeah, Baby Sneak. I finally caught the
I
live.
know not.
We'll appreciate you, Baby Sneak. I'm glad you were able to catch the live. If you look above yourself in the comments, Baby Sneak, it
No,
has the link to StreamYard if you want to
no,
join. I
no,
actually love the fact that CJ don't want you to join, which
no.
makes me a little bit
Hey,
more.
sneak, no,
Wow. Okay.
no.
All right.
That's wow.
Yeah, man. You never know who's watching, bro. You heard me. I don't even know the context, but your mouth is still gaping. I thought you were
Where's my
frozen.
other
Pause.
phone? I
Yeah, that's funny.
know not.
Well, Sneak,
Bet,
you're welcome to the SPS podcast. We
bet.
would love to hear your feedback and
Ah,
figure out what you
Right.
think about the topic. I'm not sure the context, and I'm not even gonna ask. I'm pretty sure that'll be something we'll speak
oh,
about a little later.
hey,
But what's up? You
mm,
want to speak to it, or we just
hey,
gonna keep it pushing it?
because
What's
I
up?
don't know if she's still watching or not. Just side note, I don't know if you remember when I had brought up that there was the one girl that I wanted to take serious, but she had already had orders to PCS to go to Germany. That's the one
Oh,
that her nickname is Sneak. And if people thought when I was talking about it, they was talking about I was talking about Sneaky Link. I was like, no, bro, that's literally a nickname she grew up with because she like
oh,
4'11". She
well,
just short and
Sneak, you
sneaky.
are more than
But
welcome to
but
join the
yeah,
panel. That would be,
that's wow.
yeah,
Bet.
funny how the world works. You should text her,
Nah,
send in the link. See,
bro,
there you go.
bro. Noted.
Uh-huh.
mm,
Yeah, before we go any further, man, let's look at some statistics. We're gonna break down the numbers of children, blended families, and we'll kind of tap into what y'all think about the statistics. So, by the numbers, children, love, and relationships. 16% of children live in blended families. 1,300 new step families are formed each day. 40% of families in the US are blended, with one partner having a child from a previous relationship before marriage. 60 to 70% of marriages involving children from a previous marriage fail. 80% of stepchildren function well on developing outcomes, including academic success. 44.7% of Black women are childless in the United States as of 2020. And as of 2022, there were about 4.15 million black families in the U.S. with a single mother. We're going to let that marinate. Javon and CJ, if y'all give me a thumbs up, I want y'all to dial in on one of these statistics that you want to speak to. And then, once y'all got one that strikes you, I'll take it off the screen.
Dang, boy, that I ain't even gonna lie to you. The black women one, that threw me off. Almost 50%. Almost 50% of childless.
Don't be like that, CJ.
Hey, I really no.
I
got mine. Let me know when you see one that jumps out at you, Javon.
I got a thumbs up.
All right, let's do it.
I'm out, boy.
All right, CJ, what you got, brother?
Ain't no motherfucking way. Hey, that she about to get cussed out. Man, 40% of families in the U.S. are blended with one partner having a child from a previous relationship before marriage. That one, I get it.
Tell me more. What you mean?
Because, like how I said earlier, like a lot of the homeboys I hung around with or I knew, they go to their mom's house. I'm hanging out with them. Sometimes be at their dad's house. I might be able to go to their dad's house, hang out with them. Either the mama have a new dude, that's a blended family, or the dad will have a new woman, that's a blended family. And I've also noticed in some cases, when the mom got with the new dude, that dude already had a kid. Or when the dad got with a new woman, that woman already had a kid. And in most cases, it was usually the dad with the woman that had the kid, not really the mom dating a guy that had a kid. But I can see it being 40% or even higher, to be honest, because nowadays I see a lot of blended families, especially like because we black. So I'm more so in the black community. I see that where odds are by the time you meet a woman that's got 2 kids, I ain't trying to throw percentages out there, but odds are both those kids got 2 different dads, and the guy that she's with is probably not the father of neither one of them.
Oh shit! Why do you think that is?
There's a lot of answers to that question, sir. I don't want to sound rude, but
we here to talk.
She went through a whole phase. She picked the wrong man. Maybe she picked the right man, and then he decided to be the wrong guy. He became a dog. Like it could be a lot of answers to that. She had a one night stand that went left. There's a lot of things you can go with it for the reason why she had 2 kids by 2 separate men, and neither one of them in her life, and the man that she's with now is willing to take care of 2 kids that aren't his. It could be a lot of answers. She could have had a great relationship with baby daddy number 2, because obviously baby daddy number 1 in there because it's 2 kids. But and things just went left. There's a lot of answers, sir. I don't want to say she about to pass some paper, be nice. Like that's why I said, bro. That's an umbrella question with a lot of answers.
Respect.
But I feel like I ain't even gonna lie to you. Some of these numbers I feel like need to be higher though.
Which ones?
All of them.
All of them?
16% of children live in a blended family. I feel like that's higher. 40% of families are blended. I feel like that's higher. 44.7% of black women are childless. Come on now.
You think
I
that's
know
higher?
I remember that little note they had on the news or something for North Carolina alone, how the rate of teenage pregnancies went up by 30% last year. That was wild in and of itself. They coming out of high school popping babies.
Okay.
All
of them?
Who?
You think the majority?
Bro, hey, I ain't even gonna lie to you. During the COVID time frame, a lot of them girls that at this school at Westover High School, a lot of them was pregnant graduating. A lot of them. I'm glad my sister won one. She about to have a baby now, but she 20-something years old now. But when she graduated from there, it was a lot of her friends swole, man.
Okay.
For real. And they graduating. They like not most of them ain't even 18. Swole. I'm talking about ain't no, she might be pregnant. Nah, bruh. I'm not even exaggerating the number. Like at least 20 of them went across that stage and was like 7-8 months in. I'm not exaggerating that number.
Question: do you think that peer pressure could have been a cause in that? If you saying all of them look like well maybe the same about around the same
Man,
month and carrying, do you think that had anything to do with it?
I'm not giving them no excuse for why they slipped on a man's dick. I'm not doing that. That
Okay.
they made that decision regardless. 20 ain't no way, man. I remember when I was in high school, there was a girl that was a senior when I was in ninth grade, and she was catching the bus with her 6-year-old. She was a senior, and if y'all watch this pod, y'all know who I'm talking about. I don't even want to put her name out there, but she was a senior at our school. I was in ninth grade. She was catching that bus for the high school while her 6, 7-year-old whatever was catching the bus for elementary school. They was at the bus stop together. Now you do the math on how old she was by the time she had that kid. Had to be in middle school.
That's interesting.
But to see something like that when I was in school, I instantly was like, man, Connor's my best friend. Like, ain't no way I would live a life where I already got a carbon copy of myself and I'm still a kid myself. That's wild to me. To
That's for sure.
see girls in school back then be pregnant, popping babies, and you ain't even did like English 4, bro. Like, that's wild to me. No, man.
That's fair.
That's no.
Giovanna, which statistic jumped out at you?
Well, shoot, CJ done hit about 3 of them.
Right.
I did, man.
I'll put them back up, bring them back up.
I think it was the, geez, where it go? The 1,300 new step families are formed each day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that's a lot, for sure. But I think now is more so, of course, people wanting that 2-parent household and stuff like that. And don't nobody want to raise no child by themselves. I'm surprised the number is that high for a day.
Yeah.
It do speak a lot of volumes to like kind of some of the stuff that CJ just spoke about, like how did that person even like kind of like end up by themselves, whether it's he or she, and because you do have some single fathers,
Yeah.
and sometimes in some of those cases they actually surprise me because majority of the time the kid would be with the mother or so.
Right. Yeah. I think that that was a stat that jumped out to me most, but maybe for a different reason, Javon. I think the reason why it popped out at me is because at least in these YouTube streets, when we was having these conversations, like you hear a lot of guys talking about what they wouldn't do. I ain't dating no chick with kids. And I think that the numbers are saying otherwise, right? I think that a lot of times when we having these conversations, there's an idealistic way that you would want to do things. And then there's what actually happened in real life. And I think that some people can walk out, they talk it, a lot of people don't. And I think that 1,300 speaks to, what you say is cool until you run across evidently the right one. And then everything you thought you was doing changes. It about faces. I think that it speaks to, I ain't gonna lie, that stat gives me hope. But not because I want to see a bunch of stepdaddies out here doing it and getting worked over. I think what it gives me hope to is that everyone is going through an awakening. I think people are realizing that this single parenthood shit ain't it. And, I think that even for men, I think that to speak to what we talk to in a lot of our other pods, dudes are tired of the archetype. There's an archetype of women out here that are just difficult as hell. And I think that dudes are willing to sacrifice, maybe a baby or two to get a level of cooperation from the women that might have children. And I would go so far as to say that, hell, even some women that have children, and this might sound weird, but I think y'all know what I'm going with this. Some women that have children, it actually matures them in a weird way. Like it forces them to grow up in a different type of way. And I think that it provides a balance that, it makes it easy for a man to, slide in and just give that little missing piece of infrastructure. You know what I'm saying? Because they've done it by themselves long enough to realize the importance of what the hell you didn't have or what didn't work. You see what I'm saying? And I think that might speak as to why what people say is, I don't want no girl with no kids. That shit sound cool until you get the meeting shorty and you realize she together, the kids together. whatever it was she was in or on, her mentality is a little different. And let's keep it real. As long as she ain't embarrassing you or she ain't got no bodies that you ashamed of, most dudes don't give a damn. So I think that number speaks to that. Am I
So
tripping?
I think
no,
it
so I would
depends
say
on the when they have kids.
Tell me
Is
more.
So let's say she got 3 kids.
He doesn't have a filter.
Bro, she right though. But let's say she got 3 kids, right?
Okay.
I ain't even gonna put the number baby daddy. Just she got 3 kids,
Mm-hmm.
and she had them all like after like 21, 22. After she's up there in the age group when she pops the first one. So
Mm-hmm.
by the time kid number 1 hits 18, she's gonna be rolling into 40, right?
Okay.
So yeah, she has that. She has more time to have maturity and whatnot with these kids because she's at an older age. Now let's talk about that one that had kids in high school.
Mm.
The one that had a kid at 16 and had another one at 19. That one was still immature herself. She ain't even experienced adult life yet. She
Right.
don't know what it's like to pay a bill. Probably not even have a job. And if she has an incompetent mother, then guess what? She probably didn't do much any like disciplinary action towards her child for the fact that she's having a kid. You know, I've met people that had their daughter got pregnant at a young age and they was just celebrating it. Baby showers, treating them like, oh, my child having a baby. Your child is 16, man.
Yeah.
Your child makes C's and D's in school, man. You happy about her having a baby? Like those ones like that, they end up still being immature in their head, and because they didn't even take time to really learn how to be an adult. Half the time they don't even know how to raise their kids to the point grandma's probably raising the kids because she's deep down she realized that she didn't raise her own kid correctly, and now she's trying to make up for it by raising the grandkid. Come on now.
That is a lot. That's kind of crazy. I agree. Giovanna, what you think?
I mean I've seen it both. Like women, they have kids younger, they matured. They like an instant. I ain't say instant, but because they reality kicked in. Then I seen it where the younger woman had a child and still continued to do like some of the stuff that CJ spoke about, or just like continue to have more kids and kind of push them on to like their parent or so to watch out for. So I see good in both.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to speak more to like the comment of like that number of like the blended family, because I think at some point now, I think some people are kind of seeing it's easier to just go ahead and be with somebody that already have a kid, especially if they don't want no more kids. All right, you got
Right.
kids, I have kids, and it's easier that way. You may or may not want one together. However, maybe one, if not both parents, probably don't want any more kids. That's what I have been seeing a lot of
That makes
versus
sense.
you trying to get with a woman that does not have a kids, and say you already got yourself fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Then she may not want to be with you. She really, truly want to have a child.
Yeah.
So that, and then like you said, the not wanting to have kids, have any more kids, for that or whatever the case may be. So that's what I have been seeing a lot of, as far as that. And then, because it will, and then too, like, all right, whether that other parent's going to accept your child, especially if it's like a woman with coming with the kids, will that that when that man accept the kids as his own in that case as well, versus just coming meeting a man and dealing with a man that already have kids.
Gotcha. I ain't gonna lie. I think that you bring up an interesting point. Like, as a father, I got one daughter, and I'm gonna keep it real, man. Like, I think that we are living in a different time, a different era. The economy, all things considered equal, it's tough with one man. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I'm laser focused on getting her to a level of result and success. Right. I think that I talk to my old lady. We talk about it from time to time. I think that we both agree though that it has to financially make sense first. And I know that sounds weird, but like having kids for the sake of just having them to say that, I got another baby, or for her to say she's a mother. I don't know if like you have to really think about what the hell you saying. You know what I'm saying? That first one is like, it's it's cool because it's all fresh and it's all new, but it really like jokes your ass in the reality of what you just signed up for. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, when they hit, you can't push them back in. You know what I mean? No do-overs. You feel me? Like they here, bro. You're like, and I know CJ can speak to this, bro. The one of the most frightening days as a parent is the first day that you are released from the delivery. Like, you know, they check, make sure the mother's good, and you rolling your old lady out, and the baby's there, and you realize they didn't give you no manual for this motherfucker.
Hey, bro,
Ain't
you should have
nobody
saw me. You should
coming.
have saw me putting that car
What?
seat in when we left that
Bro,
hospital,
it's the
bro.
longest process. You be like, oh shit, did I remember how to strap this in right? Fuck, that YouTube video was wrong. And
Hey,
you just,
bro.
like, it takes you 45 minutes to get your shit together to even get out of the parking lot. Now you worry about how you drive and you thinking about, damn, was
Hey,
I
I
really
ain't
paying
even
attention to
drive,
driving
man.
school?
Look,
Bro,
I
it's
sat in the back
different.
seat. I sat in the back seat, had one arm like this, and the other arm was on her. And I was just like, I don't even know if it's. I was so nervous, right? So I was just like, man, I don't even know if I strapped it in right. I don't know if it's locked. So I'm just gonna hold it. And I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like the whole, we was at the hospital for 3 days. So the whole time we was there, I got the kid. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm a daddy. But you want to know when it finally hit me, like, nigga, you a daddy? Was when I got in that car.
Yeah,
When I got in that car, I
yeah.
was like, nigga, we came here pregnant. We leaving here with a carbon copy, bro. This
Facts.
this little
Yo,
thing right here beside me is mine. Like, bro, that's when
yeah.
it hit me
That
that,
shit's
yo,
spooky.
I'm a daddy, bro.
It's
Like,
spooky, bro.
and
It's
I
wild
was
spooky.
nervous as hell. I'm like, if she
Mhm.
sneezed, I'm like, oh, that's just a sneeze? Oh, okay. Well, I thought she had a
Yeah.
seizure. I don't know. Like,
Bro,
hey,
it's
hey.
nerve wracking as hell, and I think that
Heck no.
a lot of people like to speak to the joys of it, but I think that we are living in a time where I think men are a little bit more conscious about where they're placing their seeds, and I think that what probably destroys a lot of relationships when it goes on that path is that I think men are so practical that what me and CJ are talking about, it's hard for them to articulate it to a woman they've been with for a while. Like, yo, like I know what the hell is coming. You might not be aware, but in my mind, I'm like, yo, this shit is about to change how we move. The budget's gonna look a little different. Can we set the kid up? And your old lady looking at you like, motherfucker, I ain't getting no younger now. What we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's next? And let's just speak to what's really happening out here. Motherfuckers ain't really waiting on rings no more. Like,
They not.
you feel me? So
They
like, we ain't gonna act like, okay, well, this how you supposed to. No, let's speak to what the hell we really see with our eyes. Like, that ain't what's going on. So, I think that can cause a point of contention when you got two people that ain't really on the same page with long-term goals. You feel me? I think it make it difficult as hell to make each other understand that y'all are on borrowed time for different reasons, right?
mm,
He's on borrowed time to get his resources together to provide for a child that ain't here yet. She's on borrowed time with how fertile her eggs are gonna be. You know what I'm saying? And like that's a tough pill to swallow. So to Javonna's point, I do see why blended families are up because, like you said, it makes more sense to just kind of, you got yours, I got mine, let's figure it out. Or I got mine, you might not even want them, so let's just focus on what I got, or let me focus on what you got going on. Like, and I think it works either way, but I think that's probably more so wise because we aren't like our parents, our grandparents, so to speak. Like shit, my grandma had like 7 children that lived. You feel me? Like,
my grandma got not no 7 of them things, and
you feel me? Yeah,
my
like,
dad is the baby.
but it's back when $35 could carry all of y'all for 2 days. Talking about eating and everything. You feel me? Like, this shit a little different. You hear me? So I think that our generation is a lot more conscientious of the economy, our resources, and how we use them. So I do think that, I don't know, in a weird way, it gives me hope. I know, we talk about this shit all the time, just kind of in theory, but that lets me know at least our people are being more practical with each other. And I know we be on each other's necks sometimes, but it does, like, if 1,300 people are figuring it out every day, that means somebody listening somewhere and they found a solution as to you know, how do I get out of this single motherhood rut? How I get out of this single fatherhood rut? Like, how do I find somebody I can do this shit called life with? They're figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it kind of goes against what we hear on YouTube a lot. So just my thoughts. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying as a people, that's progression, because it could be the opposite, to where like it's only 2 blended families started a day and the single motherhood is going up. You feel me? Like, it could be fucking worse. I'm not saying this the opportune thing, but I'll take some progress. Am I tripping?
No. It makes sense.
Okay. I know y'all let me know if I'm wilding out too much. So, where do I want to go next? Ooh, this is a good one. So, let's go with Giovanna. How much do you think your child should have an opinion on who you date? How much should your child opinion affect who you date? From a woman's perspective, not yours personally, but just what, like, how much influence should a child have on who the mother dates?
I can't really like put a number on it, but it should be somewhat of a significant, you know, matter. And I say that because, you know, that child has to feel safe too. But at the same time, it really depends on the age of that child, because that child is still young, you know, and still trying to learn life, understand life, and stuff like that. But more importantly, for that child to have that connection and feel safe and actually bond with that person. So I feel like it's significant.
What's the window? Give me the window to where it's like, let's say woman just had a baby daddy ain't with it, she by herself. What is the magic number do you think a woman has a good window to where it's the sweet spot of this should be more of a priority and my child should have more an opinion on it?
Well, the child is still young in that case.
So you think that, what's the age you think that a woman should probably about face and start looking for a man again? Yeah, y'all didn't know it was gonna be this thoughtful, did you?
You're talking about, so after the child is born, I mean, I would say for the woman, just in general, like, she shouldn't try to step out there and date again until she feel like she can at least survive on her own first, versus, you know, continuously trying to bring somebody in there to help, you know, make her stable.
Why is
Like,
that?
before she step out the house, like trying to date, she should have some type of stability, you know, in, you know, being there with the child and stuff like that.
Okay. How long do you think it should take her to get that together?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully. I mean, I will want like sooner than later for her. Sometimes they can take a couple of months. Sometimes they, you know, depending on how financial stable she is and mental stable she is in that process, and sometimes they can take a couple of years. I mean, I would say the best thing is not to rush it. Like, just don't feel like you need a man there just because, you know, you're a single parent. But make sure you actually, you know, taking care of yourself and protecting yourself and your child when you decide to, you know, it's time for you to move on in your dating life.
Okay, so what would you do in a situation, Giovanna, where you got a kid that's old enough to articulate, and you vetted the man, you talking to him, you seem like a good dude, and let's say your child like, Mama, I don't like, you know, what you doing? How much weight would your kid have? Regardless of the age, we ain't gonna put an age on it.
I mean, for me in that case, I would talk to the child, like trying to get more clarity, more understanding why this child feels this way. Even though sometimes, you know, kids, they may not be able to articulate those feelings and, you know, why they say no to something. But I think a majority of the time, if you just tell me you don't like something as a child, you should be able to tell me why. And it may be somewhat simple, and I got to do the further thought process to actually connect the dots and stuff like that with it, and then also to have a conversation with the, you know, with the guy, to like, how is it that the relationship ain't, you know, isn't progressing.
Okay. So let's say you ask the why. It seems like, let's say the why of the child doesn't put the child in harm's way, do you still lend credence to the child's opinion? Let's say it's like, oh, I don't like his scruffy beard. Like just something minuscule that doesn't harm the child. You feel me? Like I know that was a bad example, but you get my point. Something where it's like, all right, clearly this dude ain't putting my kid in danger. That's just not their preference. Like, do you how much weight you lend on an opinion from a child like that, or from an opinion from a child like that?
Right. So I mean, if it's not like putting the child in danger or anything like that, I would try to just first try to mediate between the two to see if that bond can actually connect. And if we can't, if by trying like multiple things and like reasonable things to connect that bond and stuff like that to build that, if I can't connect it, then that's just it. Regardless of what the relationship just ain't. I would just move on because at the end of the day, it's still my child, and I need to still make sure my child feels protected and make sure what I'm still respecting them as well in that process.
Okay, well, I'm gonna add one more layer because now we talking. What if that dude checks everything on your list? Like good dude, solid dude, everything that Javonna wanted. Russ showed up, but Javonna baby ain't having it. You feel me? Like he ain't with it. And let's make him a boy. Like, no, I don't like bruh. I don't like him. What we doing? You done tried to mediate. It ain't going right. You feel me?
Look, me and the child gonna have a come to Jesus meeting.
I like that. So you do give weight to how you feel about the man as well, then, right?
Right. I mean, I really got to take both sides,
Right.
in perspective in it. Like I said, he can be a great man, in that case, and sometimes in that, sometimes you need to separate a little bit. And that's just saying all right, I'm creating a space to like be done officially with you. But sometimes just look at things from a different lens.
Okay. So let's say it starts good and then it goes bad. You good, child loves, let's call your son little man. Little man love Ricky. You feel me? Ricky cool. And then one day, man like, Mama, I don't like Ricky no more. I don't think he's right for you, Mama. What we doing?
I mean, it'd be the same process. Why? What changed?
Okay. So you're gonna really drill in on the kids.
I mean, I want to ask,
mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna ask I would ask the man, what did you do to my child? Because how did your relationship just turn like that? I know sometimes kids make you hurt your feelings,
mm-hmm.
Type of deal, and it ain't nothing really serious. It's just more so of them understanding and then having a feeling and then identifying the feeling that they have. Right. It may not be right, a good, I don't want to say right, but good feeling. But they feel something and they don't really know what it is. So the first thing they may go to is like, I don't like something, or I don't like that person. So I would try to farther deep into, go into that before I just make it like, all right, I'm just gonna have to cut you off.
That's a bar. That's what's up.
I mean, kids are smart,
They are and intuitive as hell. Like they read spirits and shit well, but like you said, man, listen, we talking today. I know y'all was like, damn, I thought I was gonna play some videos and ask you what I think. Nah, it's 3 of us. We got time. We gonna drill into this. CJ. Yeah, what's going on, big dog?
Man,
how much does your current child opinion affect who you date at her age? And I'm only making it personal because you can speak to your real life example. You feel what I'm saying? If you like to. Now, if you want to keep it in theory, that's cool. But
no,
like
it's cool, man. I'm
with real time advice, bro.
No, I'm good with that. When it come to mini me, man, she don't really like nobody for a minute, bro. It went a while, man. It went a hot, bro. And I won't necessarily like throwing girls in and out. Like it was more like half the time I'm big on allowing her to pick what we do certain days. So like some days I might have a schedule like, hey, this is what we doing today, this is what we rocking, this is what we got going on. She'll be like, cool, bet. And then some days I ain't got nothing planned. So I'll be like, Minnie, what you want to do today? Her first thing is I taught her to say, what are my options? So she'd be like, well, Daddy, what's my options? So I'd be like, all right, so boom, we can go out to the park or something, go to the movies. We can find an activity to do, something more physical. We can go down one of the little bike trails you want to do. Or we can do a chill mode and be at the house. Just grab some junk food and just relax. She'll be like, chill mode. All right, bet. So let's say we decide to do one of these outdoor events and we run into a friend or a soldier, somebody I know. I know a lot of people in Fayetteville at this point, or they at
Mm-hmm.
least know me. And I don't know them, but I'll run into them and they'd be like, "Hey, sorry." Like, if it's a dude, she don't really think nothing of it. I'd be like, "Hey, what up, bro?" Da, da, da. If it's a female, bruh, my daughter be holding that hand quick, like, hmm. And if we talk for too long, I've noticed, especially if I run into them at the mall or something, I've noticed a lot of times I ran into somebody at the mall and it's a woman and we talking for a little too long, she starts stepping in front of me.
Oh
I've
shit.
noticed that she's done that a couple of times, right?
Uh-huh.
Now this is the same girl that when she was like 6, she wanted to learn Taekwondo. Those were her exact words. It wasn't karate like every other kid. No, I want to know Taekwondo. My question was, why mini me? Why you want to learn Taekwondo? So cause I got long legs, so I can kick all the girls from trying to date you.
Wow.
You can't go around throwing your feet. And the fact that you acknowledge that your legs play a significant role in Taekwondo, that says a lot for a 6-year-old. She 9 now.
Yeah.
Taekwondo is primarily about legs. And she
Right.
acknowledged that and was like, "No, I need to learn this, daddy. So when all these girls try to talk to you, I'm going to kick them." That's not how that works. But I
What do you
will say
go ahead?
it wasn't until the girl that left, the one that's been talking in the chat, she's probably the first girl that Mini Me got to know, and he
She
bastard.
co-signed
Yeah,
it.
like
She be besties
they
now.
really got tight to the point where I was taking the braids that I had did for her, and she was like, "You want me to do it?" I was like, "Man, I don't think Mini Me gonna like that. She ain't too big on other people touching the head." And Mini Me was like, "She can try," and I was like, let me get out the way then. And before you know it, they over here talking about Minecraft. She's undoing her hair. They is bonding. So your boy just sat in the kitchen and started cooking. Like, well, let me just stay out y'all way then, and let's see how that plays out. Before you know it, I'll turn around. They over there. I didn't disappear. I said, where y'all go? I go in the bathroom. She washing her hair. They became cool. And I don't know when it happened. All of a sudden, they were just tight and
Hmm.
it just worked. So every now and then, if I had my daughter and if Sneak was around, she'd say hey to her. She'd greet her. Like
Hmm.
it was cool. So that's the first one. That's the first female that got a pass. That's
Why
the
did
best way I can
what
put it.
so do you think it's your daughter matured more into the realization that she wanted her daddy to have a significant other, or do you think that she just didn't like them other girls? Like what do you think made her shift? Was it the woman you chose?
I would say both because those situations where she would always step in front of me if I ran into somebody at like the mall or at like a game or something, I got her. That was
Mm-hmm.
happening last year.
Oh, okay.
Then the year before that.
Yeah.
And me and Sneak, we technically started like chopping it up the beginning of last year. So
Mm.
by the time she met Sneak, she was still doing this. And even after she met Sneak the first time, she was still doing this. Where I'd run into somebody at the gas station or something, I got her with me, and we talked for too long, and it's a woman. No, my daughter kind of steps in front, or she does the hand pull thing, or like she does it, but she never did it with Sneak. And then the one time I had her at the house, and then Sneak came over, I thought it was gonna be an issue. I was like, just mini me, we just chill over here, and then hey, this is Sneak, and my daughter just looked at it and walked away. But that was the same day that I undid her hair, and then Sneak finished it, and they just became cool off of that. I don't know. Maybe you gotta
Mm.
do a hair. I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe you got to talk about Minecraft. That conversation with Minecraft was very in depth. All right, I didn't know Sneak played Minecraft that much. I know she played on her phone sometime, but I guess they took that game pretty serious.
That's a
But
fact.
yeah, that's the first woman that really got cool with her, got close enough to interact with her to the point when it gets to the point that your child asks about the person,
Yeah,
then you know that they actually acknowledge them because they're
that's a fact.
requesting their
That's a fact. That
attention and
presence
like,
and
hey,
shit.
what,
Yeah.
where's Sneak? I haven't heard from Sneak. Yeah,
Hmm.
so that's something.
Similar. I think that like I said, with co-parenting and with what happened in my situation, I think it was important that I had built the foundation first. right?
Mm.
So for a while, my old lady was always around, but it it's like I didn't even introduce them in a way. Like I didn't know. It's not that I didn't trust my choice in woman. It's just that I needed my daughter to be old enough to articulate first, right? And again, she'll be four on leap year or leap day is a birthday, February 29th. But she was articulate very early. And she just has a way, her intuition is powerful. So even to the point where I've introduced my daughter to people, family members and friends, I'm not going to put nobody on blast. And Layla will look at you and say, Daddy, I don't like them.
Mm.
Like, they ain't done nothing. Hey, how you doing? You know how people talk to kids. Hey, Daddy, I don't like them. And meant it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, she's definitely aware. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Sneak said Minecraft is life. She was aware. So I think that, and also I'm gonna keep it real with you. This is something I did that I thought I didn't know how it was gonna work, but in my mind it made the most sense. So this time my ex-wife, she had found somebody too. So I told her, I was like, she was like, well, how are we gonna broach this with our daughter? I was like, yo, just be honest. Like, no, we're not gonna use, well, hey baby, this is my friend. No, that's my girlfriend. That's mommy's boyfriend. You feel me? Because with children, they're so literal that you can't say in one breath my child is super intelligent and then dial back and filter what you tell them. Now, I'm not going into all the details of my relationship with my daughter, but I think it was important for her to identify that, yes, daddy has friends, but this is daddy's girlfriend. That's mommy's boyfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know it seems weird to some people, but I think that what we learned is that sometimes the way our parents did shit, it was just confusing because y'all know we came from parents and grandparents to where it was either, oh, this is my friend, or everybody was uncle and auntie. And it's like, yo, ain't no way in the fuck I got this many uncles every 2-3 months. It's
Bro,
another
God, I had
uncle such and
so
such.
many
You feel me?
bro, it made no
And
sense.
aunties and shit. You feel me? You like, man, get the fuck out of here. Like, y'all just fucking. And see, I think that once you start insulting the child's intelligence, it makes it hard for them to take you or anybody you bring around serious. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's always been my thing with my daughter. It's like, I can't tell y'all on my breath she's super intelligent and then try to play her intelligence. I think that's kind of whack, right? I think that my ex-wife chose well, I chose well, but even if something were to happen on either end, we're going to broach it with the same level of honesty. Hey, we had a relationship, it's either going to be, we're going to get married, baby, or, baby, it didn't work. That's no longer daddy's girlfriend, or that's going to be daddy's wife. But it can't go but one or two ways. You see what I'm saying? But either way, it's going to be the same level of honesty as the introduction. And like I said, it helped that she took to her fast. You know what I'm saying? And that was something that I was like, just trying to let my old lady know, she'll come around when she wants to. And it wasn't even nothing that we forced so much. It just, like I said, naturally happened. But I do think that my child opinion to the question, I think it had an effect, but I'm going to keep it tall. I think that knowing that was something I created, I just had a thought that if I chose right, then this wouldn't be a point of contention, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be, and in the future, who knows? It still can be, but I think that the consistency of how you show up matters to the child. And like you said, when that shit stops happening, you gotta keep it real, like whatever the case may be. But I think that the moment you start lying and telling half truths, you put yourself in a situation you can't get out of.
Oh yeah, boy.
You feel me?
I try my
Keep it
best to
tall.
be as honest as I can with my daughter, but sometimes she be asking questions I can't give answers, man. Just
Why
you ain't
not?
ready for that. Like,
You
side note,
tripping?
man. Like,
Okay,
like
all right. Let me take this off the screen because that's a very important question. This is my theory, and I'm gonna let you go. My theory is if my daughter is old enough to articulate the question, I'm old enough to give her an answer. Now, the answer might vary in description based on her level of understanding, but if she has the way to articulate it and ask me, as her daddy, I better give her an answer because I don't want nobody else to give the wrong one. That's just me, but go ahead.
ain't no way. So, because literally most questions that she asks me, I try to be very pretty much honest with it, but I try not to like go too in depth depending on what the question is. Especially if she asks questions about a mom, I don't try to go into too much details about it. But
That's
um
fair. That's fair. I see what you're saying.
but when it came to like I one question that is probably the only question where I never could give her an answer. She saw the movie Hocus Pocus, you know, the classical Halloween movie.
Hmm.
I've seen the movie, but I can't remember everything that was said in that movie. But at some point in that movie, they had to have said the word virgin. And she asks me, Daddy, what is a virgin? Boy,
What? I mean,
I said I honestly couldn't think of a detailed answer or a simple answer to give a 9-year-old.
the
No,
truth.
at that time she was 8.
The
Yeah.
truth. The truth.
No, I'm good. No,
A
ain't no way.
virgin is a man or a woman that hasn't had sex before.
That's cool. You could
And
have done that.
I'm gonna tell you, bro. I'm gonna tell you what I do with my daughter, bro. This is a dope ass conversation, bro. I only answer what's asked and then I pause because based
I do
on
that.
how
I do
she,
that.
thinks about it, it lets me know I don't overshare. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
answer exactly what you asked. I'm gonna pause because normally they'll because you gotta do, you know what I'm talking about. They get the
Because then they get follow-ups.
right. Well, what about? And then that's when you
Yeah.
gotta. All right. Well, I'm gonna just get to a how it come. But to me, bro, I feel like as I'm sorry, I believe that as her daddy, that is my duty. Because the moment we stop being honest with our daughters, bro, their trust in men goes to shit.
That's facts. See, that's something that I was very big on. I've always felt like for me, I have never talked to my child like a baby, even when
Me
she
neither.
was a baby. There's like old videos I can pull up of her in diapers walking around, not even one yet, and I'm literally talking to her like I'm talking to y'all. Only difference is I'm not using profanity, but I'm literally like, "Hey, Minnie, how your day going?" Oh, word, that's crazy! Like whole
Yeah.
conversation with knowing she can't say one real sentence, but as she's got older, I still talk the same way. So when she started asking certain questions that had good questions, I really had to give her an answer, be honest about it. But every time I answer the question, I give it a moment. Now, if she tells me, okay, I'll leave it alone because I
Yeah.
already know
You
what's about to
better.
happen. In
Yeah.
about 5 minutes, she's gonna come back with some extra stuff to go with that answer or rebuttal to my answer as if I was wrong. Like she's like, "Well, Daddy, I saw on YouTube. Here you go with this YouTube. Show me the video." And she'd be like, "Well, let me see your tablet." I give her the tablet. She
I'm gonna
right
tell
here,
you,
Daddy.
bro.
Look at this. This is what's happening. You're telling me something different. Explain. Man, when she asked me, is the earth round or flat?
Oh
Jay,
shit.
Giovanna, when I tell you I ain't never in my 30 plus years of living argued with a child for about 2, 3 hours to the point we going down a rabbit hole on Google, on history, on did they really land on the moon? We left them. We left if the world was flat or round. We was on like, did they land on the moon? Well, Daddy, how do you do that? Did they have iPads back then? No, they didn't have iPads back then. It was, bro. I'm telling you. So when the question came about what is a virgin, bro, ain't no way because I already knew at this point this 8-year-old about to be 9 is going to give me follow-ups.
Yeah.
I I know I'm not. There's no way I can keep curving around answers or trying to give an answer without sounding nah. So I said, look, here's the thing. I'll make a promise with you. If you don't get an answer from your mom when you ask her, I'll give you an answer. I don't
I'm
know
not
if she
throwing
got
at
an
your
answer
mom
from her
business.
mom. No, I don't know if she got an answer from her mom yet, but she hasn't asked me the question again.
That is
And
fucking
I gave her a pinky
hilarious.
promise on it. So I said, hey, pinky promise, hey, ask your mom. If she don't give you an answer, I'll give you an answer.
Mm, that's
I ain't got to
interesting.
ask. So
Giovanna, what you
Now,
think about what you think about what me and CJ doing?
look, now I want
Do
to know
we
what
are
her
we
mama
doing this
said.
right? Exactly. I'm like, bro, you better than me. And I'm like, now I gotta follow up. Little mini me, like, what she say?
hey, I get asked too many of these difficult questions, and then every now and then I ask the mom, like, yo, did she ever ask you this? She's like, no, why would she ask me that? So I'm getting all the
Nah.
questions, huh? That's what that is. You ain't getting none of this. You ain't getting none of this smoke. I'm getting everything. That's what this is. Okay.
But no, I
Yeah,
definitely
man.
agree with you, Jay, as far as like just being honest and not oversharing, because sometimes they can foster a whole lot of questions and some stuff that kid may not be ready to learn and really accept. So I really do think that is important, and just like being honest or kind of avoiding the question, CJ.
Hey,
As much as possible.
Yeah,
I
try. Yeah, but I do think that as a child, especially, I mean, I think we were all intelligent children. I think that was probably one of the most frustrating things as an intelligent child is looking to the people you trust for answers, and they just telling you, go ahead with that bullshit, or they flexing on you with authority. None of us like that shit. So I remember
you're too
what it's
young
like.
to know all that.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you mean? I was old enough to ask. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, what we do, we went straight to school. Man, I was asking they said da-da-da-da. And somebody parent or somebody's child been exposed a little too much.
And they're going to tell you everything.
They're going to tell you everything. And so that whole barrier of entry for your child and information has been crashed to hell, because you don't want their classmate at the same age overexposing dumb shit. And that's my logic. I'd rather give it to you as you ask it to arm yourself, because like you said, y'all know our kids spend more time with other students in school than they actually do with us. Yeah. Once they are in school, like you might see them for 3 or 4 hours. They're at school for 8.
Right, and that too, like the times now wasn't our times. You know, back we was engaged in so much other stuff and trying to figure some stuff out. I mean, you had maybe some people more so, but now everything is right there in their hand.
Facts.
Yeah, at an early age.
Right.
You can't afford to lie, because you'll never get it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like you said, you just never know whether they're asking out of, they're starting to go down a rabbit hole, or whether they've been researching for a while. They just want to see how much of you gonna confirm or deny. You don't know what they know. You know what I'm saying? So I think, ain't gonna lie, CJ, that might be it's kind of getting with her and being like, well, tell me, what do you know about it? And that might help you gauge. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I get it, but usually with her, when she asks the question, she honestly doesn't know it. She just heard it from somewhere. Because I know when she asked, she said, "Daddy, I got a question," and I already know when she does it like that. If she just asks the question, then she probably already knows she's just trying to double check something. But if she said, "Daddy, I got a question," and my response is always, every question deserves an answer. So she'd be like, "What is a virgin?" And I remember my first response was, "Well, where did you hear that from?" like, whoa, wait a minute. Then she said, "Hocus pocus." So a part of my brain was kind of relief, like, okay, classical Disney movie. But why is it in that movie? But I said, oh, wait, there's witches. So there's probably something about sacrificing a virgin or something like that in the movie. I ain't seen the movie in forever. Yeah. So it's probably in the movie. And then I was like, I said, that's such a strong question. And she says, is it? I was like, yeah. So how about this? Ask your mama. And if she don't give you an answer, I'll give you an answer. And she said, Pinky promise? Pinky promise. And we left it alone. She didn't ask no more questions. I ain't heard a question about it since. So either she asked her mama, or she forgot, or she was too scared to ask her mama, and she's probably gonna ask me again later on and be like, "Dad, I couldn't ask mama, so you got to give me an answer." And then I'm gonna be like, you know what? Yada 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 yada.
That's real. Let's get to our first video for this evening. The video was entitled "Buck Breaking Boys." I think that's kind of crazy. Pause. But we're gonna watch the video. I'm gonna ask a question to get y'all take. Make sure you're unmute so you can hear it. Let's get to it.
I don't think we talk about those scenarios enough. Young boys growing up seeing different uncles go in and out of their mother's bedroom. Little James.
Oh, yeah.
He was at this prom, matter of fact, in Atlanta, for content creators and their parents, put on by another content creator. And this clip came out of that went viral, where a YouTuber was, dancing with his mom. His mom was twerking and the whole night. And Lil James saw it happening, and he came and he pushed his mom off, like, yo, why you know what I'm saying? He eventually broke into tears. Not only was social media kind of laughing about it, but also the people in the immediate vicinity, including his mother who was doing the twerking, were laughing. I called it the buck breaking of black boys. There is an unspoken, unimaginable number of black boys who become men who grew up seeing that they were impotent. They had no say in their house. They had no say in the affairs of their mom. they had no say in the quality of their mom because, you know, you kind of have the parents you have. And it shaped the way that they interacted with women, not just from a resentment standpoint, but from a place of what you think you deserve as a man. As a man, you can't want anything better than what your mom was. If you do, you are a bigot, you are self-hating, whatever the case may be.
Thoughts?
Boy, I remember when I seen that video. Ain't no way.
Tell
Not
me
one
more.
Michelle Bazemore. She would have caught something to the back of her head for sure.
But why is that?
Why not? That's like they had a wedding at a ceremonial event.
Hmm.
You out here twerking in front of all these people, and the dude that she twerking with, that's a young YouTuber. That man like 20. He ain't even old enough to drink. He's a popular YouTuber. That boy is like 19, 20 years old. Your mama like 45. And you really up here twerking. I'll throw a whole piece of cake in the back of your head. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. No, man. That's embarrassing, man, because that's your mama. You really he's popular because of his mama due to social media. So that means when that got put up there, that boy's a YouTuber. That means this video is gonna go crazy. It's got a bunch of views. Obviously, from us doing this pod of this video, it's out there.
Yeah.
He's old enough to acknowledge what social media does at this point. So he's probably fully aware that this is also on. It's everywhere. That's embarrassing. It's bad enough that just being in the event and your mom's doing this in front of people, that's embarrassing. Now you know it's about to amp up because this is about to go all over the place. You as the mom displaying yourself this way makes your kid look bad. It makes you look bad in general, but it makes your kid look bad. You really can have a major impact on your child when they go to school, when they live in life, because other people are gonna be like, that's your mom? That's your mom doing this and the third? Remember, I don't know if I brought it up in another pod, but remember I told you that Amber Rose's son got upset with her because kids came up. This kid is not even in middle school yet. He's like 5th grade when it happened. And kids came up to him and showed videos of his mom's OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Could
But
you
it's real.
imagine in 5th grade at Atlanta school, somebody walking up to you with videos of Ma Duke just shaking ass? I'm swinging on you, the phone, and I'm going home and cussing moms out.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. And what's crazy is you can't do nothing about it. That's the part that's killing that boy, because at the end of the day, it's already happened, and it ain't like she was forced, so I ain't got to feel bad for her. I got to protect her. No, she did it on purpose. So it's really nothing you can do about it. He was able to stop the situation from continuing, but the situation already happened. And the fact that y'all laughing and clowning this young boy, guess what? You broke that man's ego at a young age. He ain't gonna never let his mom do that junk again. You know what he gonna do? Walk away. I bet you if it ever happens again, he's not gonna stop it. He gonna walk away. Because guess what? His respect for his mom just decreased just like that. I promise you it did.
Javonna, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think CJ said it all. Honestly, I mean, it's embarrassing. I wouldn't do that. Especially, it's a time and place for everything. You want to turn up. I ain't against anyone like turning up, enjoying themselves, and having a great time. However, that's how I felt. Her comment. That's what I felt when I saw that. It's just your child there. No. And then if you know that the love that your child have for you and the respect that your child have for you, you wouldn't even put your child in that situation.
That's fair. I think that I'm gonna take a different approach to this. I think that the mother has fucked this up on so many different levels, but before this video ever starts, I think that it was cute when you had articulate boy. But it stopped becoming cute when, in my opinion, I think that Lil James got mannish. And I think that somewhere along the road, he forgot his role as the child, and he became the child husband in a lot of ways. Like, he went from expressing his opinion to his mother to kind of trying to dictate how she moved. Now, if we being honest, we know that, you know, they were in a social media event. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a social media prom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past for that to have been some sort of a skit that maybe went too far. Maybe they were in on the skit and he didn't know it. And he was like, what the hell? Or he could have been in on it. But I think what it speaks to is, and I'm just going to give y'all a real answer. What she did wrong was doing it in front of him. If she was out at a party and she twerking in a environment to where her dancing with a dude, grinding is cool away from her kids, I don't see a problem with it. I think the fucking problem is when you're doing it in front of him, because it's confusing. Because of how you propped him up prior to this video. You've given him a voice and an authority, not of a child, but almost as the man in your life. Because for all intents and purposes, Lil James was the man in her life.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I think that's what's confusing, what's fucked up about the video. Not so much of her dancing on the dude, because, you know, at some point she might want to give Lil James a stepdaddy, but if he's already built it in his mind that you ain't acting right, you ain't on that type of shit, I don't like what I'm seeing, no dude is gonna be good enough to date that boy's mom. And again, this is that piece of stepfatherhood that I think a lot of YouTube speaks to, is you have children that grow up with the resentment because of the wrong boundaries placed on them and the parent, be it daughter and father or son and mother. Like somewhere the roles, the situations get so confused to where they become territorial over the parent, so to speak. And so they don't know the nuances of, you know, no one wants to be alone. Yeah, we having fun, but the relationship I have with you as my child is not the same I would have with another adult. And I think that that's where she fucked up, is that I think that for too early and too long, it was funny for her to put a camera in her son's face and for him to get managed. And I think that that's, you know, she's done interviews where she's like, you know, in context, we're not like this for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we kind of put on for the camera, but he knows what it is, but clearly he don't. Or clearly somewhere down the line, you fucked this up. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's the most damaging part to him and to her, is that she's going to have hell trying to find a dude that he approves of. And it seems like, you know, that's going to be important to her. And so back to our first couple of questions, I think that's damning to her finding him a stepdaddy and him finding a dude that he respects enough to, you know, want to go forward with. But I think to the question I want to ask to you all, first off, any thoughts? What y'all think? Am I tripping?
No. You got a good point there. I mean, I've seen a couple of videos with James and how he carries himself in some of those videos, whether they're the skits or the actual like little videos that they're doing before the skits. You kind of can tell that the way she treats him, that's her son husband type thing. Like that's always how she's kind of treated him in a lot of those videos. So for him to react the way he did, yeah, and based off your statement, yeah, that part actually makes sense. I've seen a couple of videos of them, and he does kind of carry himself like that. And I've seen videos of them where they about to just go out to an event, and if you pay attention, he sometimes opens up the door for her.
Yeah.
When they go to go somewhere and they get out the car, he'd be like, "Hold on, mama, I got it." He gets out the car and then opens up the door for her, like a husband or something like that. Most men ain't doing that for their mama. Come on now.
And I think that is cool if framed properly. Meaning, if she's taught him, listen, son, as you're growing up, it's always proper to open the door for a woman. But like you said, if you're not creating the proper expectations and boundaries for the child, they'll confuse that shit real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's where it becomes dangerous. Like, I think that it's, for all intents and purposes, this is what I feel for James, and this is the fucked up part. I think that his mother's going to teach him how to properly be. And then, you know, God forbid, he does that to the wrong woman that then takes advantage of it.
She will.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, and then he has to learn the harsh reality that what your mama told you ain't directly applicable in the real world with real women. Not, you know, and again, we all know not every woman is deserving of chivalry. Not every man is, I'm not gonna say deserving, but because I hate using the word deserving. But again, there are levels to how you treat people. There are levels of femininity that women give to men. There are levels of chivalry that men provide for women. And I think that that has to be earned. But, you know, without proper context, any guidance you give your kid can go to hell very quickly,
Mm.
in my opinion. So, based on that video in the convo, the question I want to ask you all is it healthy for little children to protect their parents from dating? Is it healthy for little children to protect their parents from dating?
I mean, if my daughter wanted taekwondo kick a girl in the face because she feels like the girl ain't up to par, I mean, hey, protect daddy. How about that? But healthy, man, I don't think. I think it's based off of how the parent is, because some kids grow up and end up taking care of their parents before they even graduate high school, because the parents' mentality is very immature, while the child had to learn how to mature early. I got a cousin like that. Like me and him the same age. By the time the fact that I just said that, he's probably gonna know I'm talking about him, but he definitely matured more than his own mother, to the point by the time we was like in eighth grade, bro, I acknowledged that he was definitely taking care of his mom more than she was him.
What effects you think that'll have on him and how he views women in the future?
Boy, I ain't, hey, I'm gonna use it properly. He was a misogynist for a minute. He
Mm.
was a woman hater, bro. Like not so much as like he beating on it, was more like fuck women, they ain't worth shit, they lazy, they good for nothing. Like he was on that type of time. And the only reason why I didn't really ever come at him on it is because I grew up with this nigga. I knew why he was saying that. Most of these
Mm-hmm.
dudes didn't know why he was coming at women like that. I knew. At first they were trying to like, yo, niggas, you gay? Like the nigga obviously ain't gay. He's
Right.
just he just really was on some like fuck them. Like they not worth my time, space, and energy. And then this man went to college and moved out, and he finally got him a woman that I guess was worth his time. Or he finally kind of simmered down that mindset. But I think it was because he had to leave this state. He had to leave his mama
Mm-hmm.
to really see other women. Now he's doing better. I think he's married now. They got the kid and whatnot. He's doing good now. But yo, there was a time where deep down, that boy, he was like that. Fuck
Mm-hmm.
women type shit. Yeah, he was like that for a while. And it definitely stemmed because his mama. This was a young man through eighth grade all the way up to we walking off that stage. He really was taking care of her more than, I mean, yeah, financially she's doing everything. She got the job, but in reality, nah, that man was the one that had to like tell her, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. You probably shouldn't say that. You probably should do this, do that. Yo, why you acting like this? You need to chill out. You need to sit the fuck down. Like, this is a young kid telling a grown woman how to be a grown woman. And she really was taking time to really listen to him. That's the part that really got me.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a dad talking to their daughter, but this is a son talking to his mama. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? So I feel like it's based off of in that situation, it was definitely more of the mom was just mentally immature, and the
Okay.
child just so happened to grow up maturing himself, mainly because he hung around a lot of older dudes. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's healthy. I don't think that was a healthy thing for him to be doing, because it resulted in him being misogynist for a while until he pretty much left his mama.
That's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't think it's healthy.
Giovanna, is it healthy for little children to protect their parents from dating?
I think sometimes it really depend on what's going on in that dating. Uh, and protect it looks different, you know.
Okay.
It's
Walk
not
it
the
down a little more.
taekwondo kick.
Bow. She ain't ready, daddy. She couldn't even dodge my kick.
It may not be that all the time. It may just be like that kid just shielding their parent, like I said, from uh and in those cases it's more so of that child kind of seeing that, all right, we need to develop the bond that we have before you start dating.
Mm-hmm.
Some kids, like, kids will humble you. And like I said, they're smart. They're growing up smarter these days, and their emotional intelligence is increasing, into more so with society. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it can be whether, all right, seeing that parent need more work within himself or herself as well, versus just jumping from relationship to the next, or however. So sometimes it may be healthy if it's, I would say, in that case, Like, all right, we need to bond some more as a parent-child, so you can further understand who's best for us in your dating. And more importantly, you like the kid may see that all right, the parent need a better foundation from himself or herself in that process as well. So sometimes it may be healthy. Sometimes they may be prolonging them actually having a great step parent. In that case,
That's real. I think that what I think is interesting is, or the effect that, and I'm gonna talk to the single mothers first, and I'll speak to the fathers. I think that when a boy, because this is what we're really saying, well, not in every scenario, but this is what I'm gathering. When a boy looks at his mom as a hoe, it's hard for any woman after that to change or shake the way he'll perceive women. When daughters lose the respect of the masculinity of their fathers, good luck for any dude that finds her attractive enough to try to entertain. I think that level of protection, I think that it speaks to the child being aware enough to know that the parent is lacking and them want to do something about it. But I think that when your child gets to that level, you kind of fucked up somewhere before that. Am I tripping?
No, that makes sense.
Okay. Baby Sneak, she said, definitely unhealthy because I was basically stopping my mom from dating obviously bad men while being a teenager. That's real.
Oh, yeah. I know she told me that.
That's
crazy, though.
And like you said, like, I think that, again, you know, to Giovanna's point, I think that age definitely matters of the child. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, sometimes if it is just you and your children, they do have a different perspective of you. They have a unique perspective of you. I know this is a small example, it has nothing to do with dating, but I was out of the shower, you know, my daughter was in the living room chilling. I had just, you know what I'm saying, like, got a shower. I was freshening up, you know what I'm saying? And I came in, and I think I was either giving her a snack or something. But like I leaned down, and this little girl said, Daddy, you smell precious. I was like, what? She got that little girl got an old soul. And I know she meant to say that, you know, my cologne smelled good, but I ain't gonna lie. That made me feel good. I know that's so fucking weird that, like, but a compliment from a child, I think it hits your ear different because you know it's coming from a completely honest place. It has no intention. It's just what the fuck they think. There's no filter to it. But on the other side, when they also do it and there's some shit you might not want to hear, it punches you in the gut too. You feel me? So I think that in certain scenarios, I don't think it's healthy, but I do think that if parents really wanted to know their honest selves, depending upon the child's age and level of intelligence, you'll probably get the rawest report of yourself ever from the kid that's been watching the whole time. In my opinion.
I can agree with that because it took a crackhead. Being so serious about this, it took a crackhead to tell me the dumbest thing a parent can really say is say that I'm a great parent. How do you know you're a great parent? You are a present parent. You are an active parent. You can say those things. That'll be your fact. Right. That man said a parent cannot say they are a great parent. Children give that title. They determine if you really were a great parent. Just because you can give a kid clothes, you can feed them, you can make sure they got a house or whatever. But at the end of the day, if the parent wasn't physically in their life, interacting with them, feeding them mentally, involving them in things, you know, interacting with the kid that you birthed.
Yeah.
To them, you weren't really a great parent. Because you can think of a lot of rich kids where, you know, you're thinking like, as a poor kid, like, man, your parent gave you everything, but my parent was never there. So at the end of the day, was they really a great parent? No, it was a rich parent. That's what they were. So I had to learn from a crackhead that told me that a parent can never say that they are a good parent. That's the dumbest thing they can say. Damn. Only kids can tell you that. Ask
Makes
the
sense.
kid if your parent was a great parent. That parent can't tell you if they're a great parent. They don't know that. The kid does. That's like
And
saying if you want to know if you're a great race car driver, you can't just downright say you're a race car. They do a great one. No, the people that watched you race
gotta
can tell
compete.
you if you was or not.
Yeah,
A
that's fair.
basketball player, LeBron James can scream up and down he's the greatest basketball player in the world. But until we see him do it, and then other people say if he really was good or not, that's why you got all these like these events where they actually tell you, oh, Kobe did this, LeBron did this, Michael Jordan did this. You will never hear those basketball players say none of those things. Everybody else is the one that's making those statements. LeBron's
Okay.
not going around here saying how many rings he got, how many assists he's got, how many this, that. None of those basketball players ever do that. You will never see those arguments with those basketball players. Kobe, none of them do it. But when you go to those talk stations where all the Shaq and Charles Barkley, where they doing all the arguments and stuff about them, they're the ones that's doing it because they're the ones that are actually watching it and seeing it being done, and they can tell you if were you really good or not. Yes.
Well, okay. So I got a question for you. What if your gauge for being a good parent is based on the results yielded by your child? Can you at least assess whether you're good or not?
I can only do that based off the child. At the end of the day, me personally, I can say that like when people ask me, when people think, "Oh, you're a great dad, you're a great dad," I've never said I'm a great dad because I feel like I'm a great dad. I know that I'm a great dad because other people that have seen me with my child tell me I'm a great dad. I know I'm a great dad because my daughter has told me I'm a $1 million daddy, which is her way of basically saying I'm daddy of the millennium, but she called it $1 million daddy. Like it's just
Yeah.
you're you're the daddy of the $1 million. I'm like, you mean a daddy of the millennial? Yeah. Like, okay, whatever. Like, this is the same girl that one time, like how you talked about how your daughter said you smell precious. One time I was at work. I had just recently I got my daughter a phone. So I was like, you're gonna have a phone. I already set like it's like parent control, so it's all good. And I was like, I'm gonna go to work. I'm only gonna be out here this little office meeting for about like 4 hours. Then I'm gonna be back home. Cool. Then we hanging out for the rest of the day. While at work, I get a text. Good morning, Daddy. I love you. Hope you're having a great day. Man, I text back. Man, my day started off like crap, but you just made it better because I was already irritated with these people for being late. So I hate being late, bro. But hey, I was like, you just made it so much better. She was like, I'm glad I did. Like this when you text me, I felt. I think I screenshot and put it on Facebook. I was like, bro, you don't know how I feel to know my daughter just randomly texted me and just said, "Good morning, Daddy. I love you. I hope you have a good day." What?
Yeah.
I
It
can't
hit
remember the last time a grown woman did that to me. I got a little kid doing that for me, bruh. Come on now. That
Well,
hit
that's a bar.
is different. And like you said, that's from a genuine place. She ain't asking for nothing. She
No.
woke up and texted her daddy and just wanted to say, bam, here you go. Let me send that to him. Enjoy your day. Sprinkles and stardust. All right. Come on now.
That unprovoked thought, man. Like, and
Yeah.
that's how you know it's genuine because again, that's the gift and the curse of children. Their filters are very low,
Mm-hmm.
And again, they know what they know, and like you said, the context might not be there, but you get a very clear picture as to what they think and how they feel. Let's shift gears. So we talked about the dating process, and let's move it a little bit further for the sake of the question. Let's get to the step parent part. So the question I want to ask y'all is, how much authority? So excuse me, how much authority does a step parent have on your child? How much authority does a step parent have on children? Let's go with CJ.
It's solely based off of how long they've been there.
Tell me more.
So let's say I get to talking to this girl. Her kid is like 1,
Mm-hmm.
and we rocking, we holding tight. I'm a checking all box type of guy, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
over the course of time, I'm really like showing that I'm really trying to lock in here. This is where I'm putting my foot down at, and I'm here for a couple of years. I think because I've been there, I've invested, I really put investment time into both her and this child that is not mine, but I treat it as my own, then I feel like the authority for that child is a lot higher than if I date a woman that's got a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 10-year-old. A 9-year-old, like one that's already been there for a while. I don't care if the dad was never in the life from the very beginning. They could have had a one nighter. He disappeared off the face of the earth, and here we are with a 10, 11-year-old, and then I meet her. I don't think my authority is not high for that one because she's basically been rocking Dolo for about 11 years with this kid. So my authority is not that high compared to if I mess with someone that had a kid that was relatively a lot younger to the point where she hasn't really fully experienced the harshness of going years after years after years of having to hustle by herself as a single parent. So I'm here to basically prevent that. And now
So
I'm
you
here
think
like
so you think the authority is earned over time?
I think it is.
Okay.
I don't think there's no way that authority is just downright given to you off the rip, regardless of the age. But I feel like if the kids are a
Mm-hmm.
lot younger, I can't stress that enough. A lot younger, then by the time you hop in that picture and you like really showing that you that guy, you him, and you trying to be him for a little man or baby girl and her and the mom, then yeah, I feel like that
Okay.
authority kind of gets like unspokenly given to you.
So based on your logic, would you encourage single mothers to jump out here early then?
What do you mean, like getting to the day market early?
Yeah, get back in the game early.
Low
Based on
key,
your logic.
low key, yeah. As long as like for the most part, she got her stuff together. Like for the like she got the basic stuff. Like she's got her stuff together for the most part. Yeah,
Okay.
but she really need to have her stuff together. She can't just be going in here blindly. She mentally, like when I say have your stuff together, I ain't just talking about adult stuff. Like, oh, I got a house, I got a car, I got a job. Shut up. Like that's adult stuff, all right? Not that. I'm talking about like mentally, are you mentally intelligent as far as your emotions? Do you have self-awareness? Is your maturity level to par? Like, do you understand the reason why that last relationship did not work? Do you acknowledge that not only were they messing up, you had your fuck ups too? Do you acknowledge what your red flags are? Do you acknowledge what your boundaries are? Do you acknowledge these things? If you got that put together, then yeah, slowly ease yourself into the dating market. Definitely learn the cues and whatnot of, hey, he's automatically not the guy. Maybe him. Okay, obviously he's not it. Okay, this one definitely sounds pretty legit. Like you got mentally, you need to have all that put together. All that other adult stuff is adult stuff. Like mentally, you need to have all that stuff put together. But if you got it together, yeah, step into the dating market. But I would recommend getting yourself together, but don't wait until your child's 13, 12 years old and you trying to then get into the dating market thinking like, I finally got myself together, girl. If it took that long, you need to stay single.
Damn.
For
Okay.
real.
That took a turn.
I'm just, hey,
Javon,
I'm being for real.
Javon, how much authority does a step parent have on children?
All right, so I would say this one is for me is a whole lot easier to speak to.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I will agree with CJ. If the kids are younger, I think it's a little bit more acceptable with the kids that's younger versus the older kids. Because once you got that mind made up and they stuck in their ways, it's a little bit harder to kind of correct some of that behavior. But I would just say, just for the situation that I had, it was more so first starting off with having.
This is kind of
Look, I was looking for my paper. I ain't been in my
on
office, my study for a while. I can't find my CJ paper.
Right.
So I would just say, just for in our situation, I had to have that honest conversation with the parent first, with him, and understanding how he parent and discipline and stuff like that as well, to actually even trying to start on the same playing field. So we know that if you're not here, your child's being disciplined the same if your child was here. And gaining that trust for that. And as far as like discipline, I would say for like discipline and stuff like that, I don't beat nobody kids. Look, I walk around here with a statue in every corner. Like, or like you take away what you love. I take away what you love quick, in that manner, versus like putting hands on anybody's child or anything like that. But it do start off with that conversation and with the parent itself, and then I know it will grow far as like authority and stuff like that. And I do know, well, from what I've seen, the difference is, sometimes, with the child is with their mother, it may be, I ain't say strict, but, it may be a little bit more, gun ho, would I say, or more, I don't want to say more disciplined, but it may be a little more strict. Whereas the kids come over to the parents, like, this is like, fun. So I just want to do whatever I want to do and stuff like that. And in that case, sometimes, you still want to make sure that we're upholding whatever that mother is still trying to make happen in her household too. Can't just be, the two households can't be completely different. It will confuse, it confuses the child. I mean, it can be somewhat, in the processes, but y'all gotta have some type of stuff that y'all do and similar, so that, the child not wild over here and over here is more so, you gotta have some type of balance.
I agree.
In that process. But, and then I think as they grow, it more authority will come with it. But, at the same time, I'm pretty sure, I can't say all cases. It's just like in our case, it's just, hey, I was still about school discipline, fun, and stuff like that. It wasn't really like I'm in charge type thing. You will listen to me. You still talk to the kids like they're kids and you respect it and stuff like that. It wasn't harsh.
I see what you're saying. Going through this recent co-parenting situation, the first conversation I had with my ex-wife's boyfriend was, first off, I don't beat my daughter, so I don't expect you to ever put your hands on her, because I don't put my hands on my daughter, and you shouldn't. But the one thing I did make very clear is that I'm raising my daughter to be respectful of deserving authority. So if you're going to be the covering for my ex-wife and inherit in turn the child, she should respect your authority. And I know a lot of men probably couldn't stomach saying that, but that is a God honest truth, because I can't say in one breath, I want my daughter to be this good girl, and when she good around daddy, and then she get back on her mama's situation, and just like you said, the parenting style, it goes to hell because I ain't put it in my daughter. No, you respect people that are deserving of said respect. So that's kind of how I carry it. But also at the same time, now this is where it gets weird for men and women, right? And this is like we having a real talk here. Like recently, I was trying to explain to my ex-wife that as a man, as a black man, and this is gonna sound crazy, right? But as an opposed to authority, I believe in proactive boundaries. Meaning, for example, so when the way we co-parent my daughter, no one's allowed to either my girlfriend or her boyfriend, they're not allowed to bathe, go into the bathroom, or take care of our daughter at all. And I think that has less to do with trusting the significant other and more to do with the consistency. And even at my daughter's age, with her being 3 going on 4, she's independent as hell. So even me, like when my daughter's bathing, I'm just making sure she's not gonna drown. You feel me? Like I don't have to, you know what I mean? Like you gotta remind her, hey baby, make sure you hit this spot. But like she's independent enough now to where she doesn't need a lot of help with any of this shit. But I think that the proactive boundaries will make it so that you won't even have to get to a place to where anyone has to flex authority on either side. Because my situation too, I think that with my girlfriend not having children and my ex-wife's boyfriend not having children, my whole thing is this ain't the time for you to be on the job training neither. Not that I don't trust either of them, but this is something that me and my ex-wife did. You know what I'm saying? Like you all, I like them being there more as a supplement and extension of who we are versus giving them the responsibility of a kid that I know both of them, they got love for my daughter, right? But I don't even want to put them in a situation of where we have to question their integrity, because then it makes the relationship go to shit. And so these healthy boundaries make it so there's never a compromising situation of where A, my daughter can misinterpret anything at her young age, or B, the other side is on offense mode because something don't look right. You know what I'm saying? We know that's how the fuck it starts. Everything cool till it ain't.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so I think that those boundaries make it so that we ain't never, our wires are never crossing in a weird way. And it's crazy because I know sometimes we be up here talking and people are like, damn, y'all always saying the right shit. But I'm telling y'all shit that I'm like, this is real time going on right now with me. You feel me? So I'm not telling you no shit that ain't working, but you know, that's my main thing. And again, I know with dudes, like if you're a father and you know you're displaced from your children and your baby mama, ex-wife, whatever she is to you, she starts dating. I think that it's important to let the next man know, like, bro, it might seem a little weird and unbecoming, but I'm doing this to protect your integrity just as much as I am going to protect mine, because I don't want to be in a situation where I have to listen to my daughter, cipher through what I know about her, and question you. Because at that point, as her parents, somewhere me and her ex-wife fucked up on either side, because the situation should never arise. So now I'm at to check myself while I check you. But we know, CJ, you a daddy. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Javonna, I'm pretty sure you can relate. Like, there was so much that kid could have said to you the way you ain't on somebody's ass. Like, hold on, do what? You feel me? And that really be the problem. Everything is cool till it ain't. And so in my mind, we're proactive about boundaries to make sure that shit don't happen. And I think that, you know, how you start with the level of respect and boundaries is how you finish. So we've never had anything that would look crazy or was crazy because, you know, we set the expectations in a real place. We didn't set the bar too high or too low for our significant others. It's like, nah, like, you're doing your part. My old lady that's my lady. That's your part in helping me co-parent my daughter. You're here to be my support. You feel me? Like, you know, she loves my daughter and my daughter loves her, but that's more like a constellation. Like, her authority, I ain't gonna lie, it starts and stops where she's comfortable, where her and my daughter's comfortable. But that ain't something that I really have okay, this is how much authority you can have. You know what I'm saying? And again, I think that if we do our jobs as a real parents, she'll respect authority and can identify good leadership regardless as to where the hell she at. And she'll also know when she's not comfortable doing that. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
But not making it a mandatory. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you definitely made like a lot of great points there, especially with the boundaries. Because like, just like for my situation, I had to start off with, you know, what authority, I had to ask, what authority do I have?
Right.
I can't just assume authority because you're going to already assume that I'm going to take care of the child because you know that already. But at the same time, I need to know if this child really going to listen to me. And in that part of listening to me is like, it may be as in protecting them, but more so discipline them and or helping them with something as well.
Right.
And then like, you can't be like good cop, bad cop, you know.
Facts.
You know, you can't just like go back and forth with that. And after a while, you know, we sit down, you know, younger kids is easier, but at the same time is a little challenging because they're still learning.
Yep.
As well, like the first summer was the Wild Wild West, or like, and then like the grandma came too. So just like because we working, like both, and I'm just like, all right, well, how much authority do I really have? Because now grandma here too, you know, within one of the houses helping us because we both working and we got the kids here. And then the second summer and so other summers, you know, keep going. It was easier and easier because the kids knew. It's like, all right, if I said something, all right, it's the same as your dad saying something. Right. So, you know, it do help, but actually, you know, understanding what authority you have and actually setting those healthy boundaries, it do help.
Because like you said, man, my daughter at 3, I can watch her do some shit. I'm talking about literally watch her do something and ask her, baby, what just happened? Oh, this? What? No, I didn't. I look right at you. You feel me? And from her perspective, she's dead. And again, back to intelligent shit. People love and claiming intelligent kids till you start misinterpreting the shit they say. Or you don't ask the right questions to get all the information. And so, again, it's a slippery slope when children are still developing. But back to our point before, you know, these are things you're going to have to look out for if as a single mother or a guy that's out here, you start getting into the game early. It looked different than a 10-year-old. That has a little bit more context, or a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old. You see what I'm saying? Like those things are kind of instilled over time, but I think that that's something that if you are a single parent dating young, you have to know where your boundaries are for that other person. And everybody got to be on the same page, because to Javon's point, the moment y'all start fucking up and being inconsistent, the kids, they will find and exploit the weakness. They're going to find the chink, and they'll weaponize it against your ass, you and the other person. You feel me?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Baby Sneak, she said, I was always nervous with being around Mini-Me because CJ so strict at times. Uh-oh.
You goddamn right, bro. Like, bro, all right, so here's the thing, right? She right, though, because I was. But, I'm so, because I got a daughter, man, and, bro, we from the dirt, bro. Like, so I've always been kind of like, I don't care if you a man or a woman. Back home, bro, there was grown men mess around with little girls, but there was also grown women mess around with little homies. I'm one of them. Like, bro, I knew women that was doing that. I knew dudes that was doing that. So I didn't care who he was, man. I didn't care. Well, you could have been family. Like I got like younger brothers, and like they, if I bring my daughter around or whatever, they'll say hey to her, and that's it. Like, they don't try to play with it because I'm so stern, man. Because I'd be like, yeah, because I know when I was growing up with them, we was rough. You ain't got to be rough with my daughter. I'll punch all of y'all in the face, bro. Like, don't do it. So when it came to I would never forget the first time I introduced Sneak to Mini Me. We went to the movies. I forgot what, I can't remember the movie we went to go see. Five Elements, I think, or like some with elements. It was like all the characters were made out of like fire, water, and all this other stuff. So that was the first time I really got to let her meet her in person, but she's technically seen her in video chats a couple of times. Right. But that was the first time they got to meet. Oh, no, man. We got in that movie theater, man. We got them 3 seats, 3D glasses and whatnot. I'm in the middle. Mini-Me was right here, and Sneak was on my right. Mini-Me said, switch. She leaned over. She said, Daddy, can you switch with me? I said, why? I want to sit closer to the middle so I can see better. Okay. And then me not thinking, because I automatically moved from my kid, man. So I just switched. And then I sat down. I realized, I see what you did there. You got between me and Sneak. Okay. Yeah. Then we went out to eat. We went to steakhouse. Went to the steakhouse. I get into the booth. She always sits on the inside of the booth with me anyway. So she got in, she was like, Daddy, make sure you right here. Like, I was gonna sit there anyway, but she had to emphasize, no, right here. So but I acknowledged it though. I knew that, she's doing this because I already act like this with her. Like, I don't like to be too far away from her. When if we go to like a public bathroom or something, I'm pretty much a guard dog at the door. Like, it's just not happening. So like, if I go to my mom's house and I let her use the bathroom, I stand outside my mom's door. Like, I like, my brothers are there. I don't think they're gonna do nothing. But my mentality is, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna steal. I'm right there outside the door, scrolling on the thing, on my phone, waiting for her to be done. Like, that's just how I always been. So she right. I can be kind of strict. Like, once they even after they got cool, and she would come over, like the one she stayed here one time while Mini-Me was here. One time she stayed over, and that was the night that Mini-Me was like no, and got in the bed with us. So we all in the damn bed at the same freaking time, bro. And Mini-Me but they was cool. I went to sleep. They was up, according to Sneak, they was up for like an extra 2 hours playing Minecraft. So that day was cool. I was cool. I wasn't tripping. But it was the fact that even though they cool now, she was very big on, well, if Daddy's so strict about me being like close to him, I'm gonna be close to him. And why this girl here? I'm gonna get in the bed too. So I get it. So yeah, she right. I am strict. I'm very strict about every human being being around my kids. So yeah. Yeah.
And I think that goes back to, like I said, the proactive parenting, man. I think that one thing I was explaining to, I said, my ex-wife and her boyfriend was, yo, listen, man, I don't want to put you in a situation where we have to question your integrity. Because then you can't come back from that. And it could be a simple misunderstanding, like just wrong place, wrong time, a nuance that is perceived differently, or that my daughter interprets incorrectly, or you know what I'm saying, her perspective looks crazy, and that relationship is fucked. More so,
Forever. Forever.
right?
'Cause it's gonna stay in my brain. I'm never gonna unthink that, bro. It's
Facts.
never gonna change.
And so, like I told her, I was like, I'd rather be in a situation where he never has to defend his integrity. He has to show it. But, perspective matters. And if you want to think somebody on bullshit, no matter what they do, they can't undo it. You can't unsee it. So, that proactive shit really does matter. I'm going to shift gears again because, like I said, this conversation getting good. We might go on for like another hour, maybe one, two more videos, because I got to get to work in the morning and I have to be up at 3 a.m. And, it's real. We're going to definitely part 2 this because this is a good conversation. But I'm going to really shift gears on this question. Based on what we're talking about, and to give context to the question, the number of blended families that are being formed, the boundaries that we're talking about, the authority, the way children are perceiving us dating. The question I have is, should a single mother or a single parent lower their dating standards to get the results they want?
You may go first.
Doesn't matter.
I'm gonna say no, because if it's not what you want, you're gonna be miserable. You can find almost any reason to leave,
Yeah.
and by then you're gonna be on find more reasons than not it being what you want. All these folks out here, how many people in America? Somebody out there got to be at least close, to what you. I would say most people go for what they want versus what they actually need. But if you
That's a bar.
no.
That's a bar. That's heavy. That's real though.
But I won't say no. You'll be miserable. You can find yourself compromising, and you'll be unhappy. And I wouldn't.
Okay. CJ, should a single parent lower their dating standards?
You said a single parent or a single mother?
Answer mother and then parent.
Should a single mother lower her dating standards?
Start him up.
Man, look, man. They need to just get a cat. That's all they need to do. They need to get a. They need to get. They need to get a cat, because whether it's one kid or 5, man. At the end of the day, if a man wants you, he wants you, and odds are he only wants you for one thing at that point. The more kids you got, the more he wants you for the one thing, and the less of you. So, yeah, man, it's up to her. If Giovanna said, don't lower your standards. There's somebody out there, and you right. There's a whole lot of people in this world, but you got to go to work in the morning, man. You got to pick those kids up. You got to drop those kids off, man. You got to feed them motherfuckers. Like you got to be a mother. You got to work. You got to go to sleep. You got to wake up in 3 hours to get those kids ready. You got time to see that man that Giovanna talking about? No. So get you a cat.
No.
Name that cat whatever that man you want to be, Tyrone.
No.
and be happy. Be happy. Or get him a dog. Since all men are dogs, and that's all you women chase half the time anyway. So get you a dog. Get you a dog, man. And make sure it's a good one too. Don't get you no mutt. That's really a nigga. Get you like a Doberman, something that's gonna cost you, that you're gonna really take care of. You're gonna feed it. He's gonna be huge, strong, protect your house. You want somebody to protect you, don't you?
Hey, man.
Get you a Doberman. Get you a Great Dane. He's gonna last you about 7 years. But guess what? That's about as long as most of you girls last with y'all relationships anyway, before y'all fall out with 3-4 kids. But hey, look, man.
No, but no. So hopefully, no.
Man, I'm just saying, like, the question it kills, because it's like, should a single mother lower her standards, her dating standards? Ma'am, you gotta first ask yourself, why are you a single mother? Based off that answer will tell you, in all honesty, I don't even care what the answer is. Your standards gonna have to get lowered regardless of the answer. Let's say Boom. Let's say your standards got 30 things on it. 30 things on the list. Bow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You break up with so and so for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna tell you right now, knock off 5 standards. Just off that breakup. You know why? Because regardless of it being his fault or your fault, it's your fault to some degree. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. There's listen. One of the main things I hate for a woman to say is that she can say, I did everything for that man. If you really did everything that that man actually told you, which at some point, let's be real, fellas, we at least once will tell a woman once what we really want from her. And guess what? It's in one ear, something happens inside her brain, and when it comes out, it is not what we said.
Right.
And she does
That's real.
everything else. I don't want nothing for my birthday. I'm gonna give him a party. What? Like that's what y'all do. So if you break up and you got kids, because it says single mother, one
Mm-hmm.
or more, knock off 5 of those standards. Now you at 25. Now you still gotta take care of this kid. You still gotta take care of your stuff. You still gotta take care of the house. You still gotta be an adult.
Yeah.
Knock off 5 more because at some point you're not gonna run into this guy unless you meet him at the office. And at this time frame, you in a rebound mode. So you probably gonna run into a guy that he seems good because he's talking nice. You see him every day, so obviously you're gonna have some type of connection. Because fellas, they'll just meet a girl, screw it, and call it a day. Women have to build some type of connection to some degree before they really get any further with a guy. So you automatically done lost 10 of your standards right then and there because this guy seems nice, but there's something about him that you know you don't like, but you're not seeing it because you're blind by the good stuff. So you knock off another 5. We went from 30 and now we at 15.
Okay.
He ain't even met your kid yet.
All right.
You
So
probably ain't even told him that how many you got.
we're
Like,
gonna reel you
I'm
back
telling
in.
you.
We gonna reel you back in. Javada, you got push back.
There's no
Anything you
reason
want
to
to
tell me
challenge
that a
him
woman
on?
gotta keep her
That's a whole lot.
standards.
All right. Let's go. Let's hear it.
No, because you make your argument off of you don't even know the situation. Maybe that woman's a widow. You know, maybe something significant happened with her, and more so, like sometimes the standards ain't 30. Sometimes it's just basic stuff that a woman really want or probably need from a man. It don't need like have all this whole list of stuff that y'all be thinking majority of the time. It may not be that. It may be something simple, even if she is a single mother. She
True.
already know that I gotta remove some stuff. I gotta think different now. I have a child. I can't have all this your 30 list of stuff, you know. In that case, I would hope that she make more logical decisions for what she actually need as a single mother versus, you know, as in a single woman, period, with no kids. Not saying that single woman with no kids should have a list of 30 either, because I think that's kind of overrated,
Yeah.
really. But you make it seem like her standards are so high, and her standards may just be something simple.
I'm not
That's
saying
real.
that the standards are high at all.
That's
I just
real.
gave a hypothetical number because we did 2 separate pods where we talked about how women gave a outlandish list of things that men need, and these were studies that was done where the men asked for bare minimum and couldn't get the bare minimum, while the women asked for an excessive amount of things, and there was no way that one man was able to do most of those things. Just like the other test that we did in another pod where a woman said, "Would you be okay with having this 80% man, or would you want the 100% man?" And then she was so determined to get the 100% man, only to find that the 100% man was 100% man for a bunch of other women as well. When she could have got the man that had the 80%, that means you didn't have the 20. Oh, I don't want to settle. That's dumb. So if this woman had standards, that means she became a single woman and had a list of standards. Whether it was 10, 20, whatever the number is, she's knocking something off. There's no way she's going to maintain those standards. So 30 on that list, 20 on that list, 10 on that list. By the time she finally gets with another guy, she's going to settle. She's going to settle with whoever that guy is. And I promise you, whatever standard she had when she got out that last relationship for, I'm not going to settle, my man got to be this, that, and third, blah, 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 blah. If we were able to rewind time, write down everything she said that guy need to be, and then we meet the guy that she settled with, I promise you, that is not him.
Right, in that process, the woman got to take like be realistic. Like, or is it what you need or what you want? So that list of 30, I can guarantee you majority of that is what you want, ain't really what you need from that man.
So then that means with your statement, you in turn agree that women should not, they should lower their standards.
If it's based off what you want,
I'm just saying. Come on now, based off that statement, you are agreeing that in turn women should lower. They should lower.
If it's once, I would ask her to be realistic about it. Go through each one and categorize it. If this is what you need, you for sure need this. No, you don't lower it.
Okay, so
I'll say this. I
I
think
forgot that Giovanna was an anomaly. She ain't said that in so long.
right.
That,
It kind
forgot
of
about that part.
that's a fact.
I
I'll say
forgot.
this. I
But
think
I get what you're saying.
I think I'll take responsibility for this question. I framed it wrong. I asked the wrong question. It shouldn't have been should a single mother lower her standards. It should be should a single mother change her dating standards. Is that a better question to pose to y'all?
It's my answer's still gonna be the same. You goddamn right. Yes, you should lower it, and yes, you should change it. You have no choice. And if you decide you want to keep those standards, good luck trying to hit the lottery. Not getting the man, hitting the lottery because you're not getting the man.
So, Giovanna, does that change how you would attack the question if it was should a single mother change her dating standards?
I'm pretty sure if it's more so the benefit of her and her child, yes. Like
Yeah.
you can't like you probably won't have the same standards that you had as a single woman, and then more important actually going then actually what up then go into like all right, now I'm a single mother. Something there got to change.
Yeah.
So yes, somewhere, but I hope it'll be more so change into what you actually need and not just what you want. Because you can't just like say, oh, this is one standard. Like this man had to come in and have to take care of my child. Like you can't just come off the rip with that because that man don't have to. That man don't have to come and do that. You can't just push that on somebody.
Not at all.
I do think. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. I think that I'll say this. I think that the haste to restabilize your family has to be a top priority for a single mother. I think that for far too long, it's so easy to rely on you or women assuming that you have the same options in the market, even with one child, right? And I'm not saying that that they're deserving of any less. I just think that it has to change. I don't know if I'm still on the fence about the lawyer, but I think it has to change because you can't think for just you no more. Because the person you're asking to come in is not just responsible for you anymore. Not as a woman that wants a man. He has to now take on a decision for two, not one. Right? And I think that, and again, I think I'm going to save the next video for part 2 of this. I ain't going to get into it because I think it's going to take us down a rabbit hole. We'll be up here till 11 o'clock. But I will say, I think that to be fair to the question, I do think that single mothers should definitely change the way they approach men. And I think that they need to be hyper vigilant and showing their resourcefulness to that man, meaning you got to be in your super feminine bag. You got to make sure that your children in order, your home's in order. You got to make sure that when that man comes over, not so much that he doesn't acknowledge that your kid exists, but he can see himself easing directly into and guiding the ship. So it's almost like for a woman, you got to make it so that your household, the mothership looks like it's on autopilot. So that when the right man comes, he's like, oh shit, let me step in, let me take this off autopilot. Now we're going this way. Does that make sense? And I think that they have to make their household a well-oiled machine and make a man incentivized, even with the children, to be incentivized to say, hey, I can add value here. I see where my plug and play is going to work. But I think that should be a single mother's job is you need to create a plug and play system to where the only thing you are missing is a dude. You feel me? Versus you still, and I'm not saying that you lose the upper hand, but I am saying that entitlement has to leave with the child because you have a direct result of a relationship that didn't work out maybe the way you wanted it to. So I think that, in all scenarios, I think that women should be hyper vigilant sooner rather than later. And I'm not saying that you should go out there and put yourself back out there if you're not ready. But I am saying that the timeline that you had, how I want to say it, the luxury of time you had when you didn't have children is no longer with you. So you have to bounce back faster. Because we know that sadly enough, the statistics speak against single mothers and how their children grow. Like they're more likely to be in the penal system. They're more likely to have low education. They're more likely to make less money. Like these are all the statistics, and you fight an uphill battle the longer you wait. So I do think that the moment you decide, hey, this dude ain't it, you have to work double time, almost triple time to get back in the game and have your shit on autopilot. And then, like you said, it might take a while, especially if it's your first kid, because now you got to figure out how to be a mother and where you fit in that situation. And so, give grace for that time. But the moment you can get, excuse me, the moment you can get things on autopilot, jump right back out there because that's your best window. And I know it sounds crazy because I don't think I've ever heard that on YouTube. Someone telling single mothers that get the ship flying fast and get right back out there. Most people will tell you, take your time, enjoy being a mother. And that sounds good in theory, but let's keep it real. CJ, at your daughter's age, do you think you have being a daddy down pat?
Fuck no. Um,
No.
I don't think so. I
You,
think
you,
I think
you
if I
adjust to what's
compare
given.
myself to if I compare myself to other fathers, hell, just being present is an upscale. So being present, interacting, talking and whatnot. My daughter doesn't really make any real fuck up. She had the one time where she sprayed water in her grandma's TV, and I had to address her on that. Big screen TV too, 75-inch, man.
Oh,
Oh yeah, bro. And my mom ain't gonna hit her. So she was just like,
yeah.
CJ, get her, talk to her, do something. And so but outside that, man, she don't really mess up with me, man. So I never really had to really discipline her like that. Like
Yeah.
so it's more like I kind of do like what my dad does. Like everything my dad was doing for me and how he addressed me and how he taught me, how he came to me, his verbiage. I've been doing the same exact thing, damn near verbatim with my daughter, even down
Hmm.
to my dad gave three major rules that me and my brother couldn't break. We didn't really break any of them until graduation, and I mean that was only like one or two, and
Hmm.
that was it. Like I never really gave my daughter any real rules. My main rule was if you ever got a question, just ask. I think that's probably the only real rule I gave my daughter, and she didn't really take that rule into heart until she was like 7. Then it just
Hmm.
went crazy.
Yeah.
But outside that, man, she's so chill. She don't really snap. I don't really hear nothing crazy about her. So
I like it. I like it a lot. So to Bino's point, y'all talk about kids yelling in the background when you on the phone. Sorry, I'm late. That is very important, but I think it speaks to what I was saying about having your ship on autopilot. That is a big no-no, ladies. If your children are unruly to the point to where you can't carry on a conversation without your children being aware that you're on the phone and respecting the fact that you need a level of peace, that is a red flag for a man. I know it might not seem that way,
it
but
is.
most men are going to look at that like you don't have control of. And this how dudes going to look at it. If you can't control your kids, how can I? They came out of you. What can I do in that? You
Mm,
can't control them. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
that's facts. Hey, that's bro. You hit that one. That's big facts
Straight up.
because if I see a woman and her kids acting wild and crazy, I instantly dub you out the picture. I don't care
Yeah.
how cute you look. I don't care how you sounding. You
The
might be
fuck?
talking. You might be talking great stuff. The moment I see that, bro, I did this real
Yeah,
quick
like,
because
bro,
I'm like,
I'm
I got this
good.
kid, I got my daughter right here. My daughter's quick to ask questions when she sees kids acting too crazy or too loud. Cause my daughter don't like too much loudness outside of a movie theater. She don't like
Hmm.
too much yelling and screaming. So when she see like a kid screaming and hollering, my daughter's quick to be like, "Dad, is he okay? What's wrong with him?" She does
Like,
it
what's
every time.
wrong? Yeah, like
Every time,
genuinely
bro.
concerned. Like, are they
Bro,
okay?
she be genuinely upset every time. Don't let us walk past a little playpen area that be in the mall. If there's kids screaming and hollering in that area, she don't trip about that. But let we see a kid fall out crying and screaming and hollering while we inside one of the little stores. My daughter will ask every single time, "Is he okay? Did he break something? Is he good, daddy?" Like she does that. She thinking like for you to do that, something got
That's
to
be
be
something that'd be
wrong.
wrong, really
did
wrong.
did you get popped? Like she
Hmm.
does it every single time. So no, man. If I see that happening, I instantly look at you like, man, you're a gorgeous individual, but as far as with you and them kids, that ain't it.
That ass,
That
yo.
ain't it.
Like,
I've had like
boy,
we got at least 6 pods that we've done when my daughter was here in the background.
never heard
6,
of.
7 of them. Hell, one of them I know for a fact. I literally told you I was watching my daughter play Minecraft in that pod. I was like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, I'm watching my daughter kill Minecraft right now. My
yeah.
daughter's literally, y'all ain't hear her say one word in
Nah.
any of them pods, not one word. She throwing up hand gestures like, I'm like, yeah, here you go. Oh, you want something to drink? You could. My daughter not gonna
Yeah.
talk. But as soon as I'm done, she's like, you finished? Like, yeah. All right, so daddy, let me show you what I saw on YouTube and let me do the like she got a billion things to say after that pod is over with. Yeah, man. Like 5, 6 pods where we were like that. So no, man. And yeah, we've had pods where the kids be in the background,
Yeah.
they talking up, they screaming and everything. It's just like, and it's one thing if I see you tell them no, stop, chill, be quiet, hey, hold on, over and over and over again, it's like, dang, bro, you got to get that right.
Yeah. Yeah. We remember that. Bino said how I had all my shit something you would never knew. That's a fact.
That's fact because that one time when he threw all the kids in the video, ain't nobody know them kids was there. They all just popped up, but it was quiet. They just looked, hey, bye. Like,
now I will say this. Now this is the thing with my daughter. At her age, I'm still creating space for her to find a voice.
Oh,
so
yeah,
she will definitely, like she gon' daddy, fuck all that microphone in your face. You got to see about this piece of chocolate that fell out my cookie, and we got to address this now. But even then, it's in a respectful way. You feel me? Like she ain't like, daddy, the damn cookie, blah blah blah. Like, she not losing her shit. You feel me? But like, it's important to her, and I try to be consistent. So I can't just because I'm talking to y'all, like, yeah, and you know what I mean? Because you're like, what the fuck wrong with bro? Like, you tripping. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But I think that it's the acknowledgement of it and creating a space. Because most children, that's all they want is an audience. And once you grant your child an audience, you realize a lot of that yelling shit stop. Because every woman can attest to this. If you got badass, loud ass kids, the moment you get off the phone, they shut up.
Yeah.
Every time. Yeah. Which speaks to the fact that it ain't even that they're unruly. They just really want your attention or that acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to say, bro, I never heard her yelling out of pocket. Respect, Bino. Yeah, like you said, she ain't gonna yell, but she will definitely tap me on my side. Y'all might hear a little bit off mic, and it's, Daddy, can you open up the granola bar? I'm hungry. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, you know what I'm saying? Like, she gonna hit me with, that's her favorite saying now. Well, actually, that's when she about to disagree with some shit. But, you know, but like you said, that I've known to talk to my homeboys and people to where you just hear their children in the back, and it's like, dog, like, do you need to talk to me later? Like, cause it sounds like your kids is running amok. Like, shit, boy, you about to lose your crib. Get the fuck off the phone with me. You feel me? Like, bro, we can pick this up later. So you got some shit you need to deal with. Right. And I think that women, and I understand, I think it becomes so normal to them that in conversation they block it out because they normally talking to their homegirls can relate, or their mama can relate. And so it's normal, but I think that it's easy when you have children to adjust to a normal that ain't normal. Mm. You see what I'm saying? Like, if that's what your kids do all the time, you're not going to be conscious of it now that you're on the phone with a dude, but you should be because he's aware of it. He might not say nothing. He might be like, oh, no, that's cool. But in his mind, he's like, man, hell no. She tripping. And dudes, I ain't going to say it. Because, you know, I was about to say, you know, we kind of sassy nowadays, but
man,
I ain't gonna say that.
Called a baddie at this point, man.
But
all y'all.
But I will say this: we're not sassy. I will say dudes, because I was just being funny and jest. But in all honesty, dudes are drawing harder boundaries on what they will and will not accept from women with or without kids. Right? Dudes are drawing real hard lines and they're being very communicative with the things they don't rock with. So, as a woman, that'd be my advice. Be proactive about your children. Make sure they're in order. Make sure your whole spaceship is on autopilot and you rock out, if that makes sense. Well, this is definitely part 1. Final thoughts before we get up out of here. Give me some solutions, some final thoughts. It's definitely coming, baby Sneak. I promise. I promise, Sneak.
I'm gonna text you because you in Germany. I don't even know what time it is over there. But Dang. Final thoughts for part one until we go on to part two. Hopefully, we'll have more people next time. But for now, uh, mothers with kids, one or more, uh, lower your standards. Settle for less because that's what you're going to do, or settle for it all. Preferably a well trained one that can protect your house. Since you don't want a man to protect your house, have a dog and a camera. I got the Ring for my house, so you might want to get that. Like, just
That's funny.
I don't know, man, but yeah, dang, bro, that
Okay.
yeah,
I
dog.
got you. Giovanna, what you got? Give me some
Men,
solutions, final thoughts.
men with multiple kids settle for less.
Do it,
Get yourself
player.
a pit bulls.
Not pit bulls. Not pit bulls.
That's a bar.
Dang.
See that, and see she getting into part two because I'm telling you, it got these. That part two is a beast. Like I kind of was slow rolling us in there because I thought the panel would be a little larger, but we'll get them on next time. But this part two, we gonna get to the shits. You feel me? Like these are the softball questions. You feel me? But that is a bar. Like dudes, yo,
With
y'all gotta get it
multiple
together.
kids, a bunch of Nick
Bino said I
Cannons.
got a pit already.
It all-
Trained to go. I'm already there. You heard me.
He said, "I'm good."
Boy, I want to ask another question. I'm gonna leave it there. I will say this, like you said, in closing, man. I think that
Temporarily.
yeah, to close this part one out, I will say that single family blended households are on the rise. And if you are someone in a situation looking to create a blended family, make the transition as easy as possible for that partner that you're looking for. Because the more resistance they have up front, the less likely they are to take you serious. You'll end up just being a cordial person. They come and bust down when the kids are asleep, and they're never going to take you serious
Yeah, they
because
gotta be
they
asleep.
can't figure it out. They can't figure out where they fit. Same thing with dudes with a bunch of baby mamas. If you out here and every time you trying to go on a date with a young lady, your damn phone blowing up, and you got to say, "Oh, that's my crazy ass baby mama." That girl's thinking, right, I will not be the next one. Now, there are some women that are attracted to that shit, but I think even women are a little, they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Delusional.
yeah, no, I'm not going to say delusional. I think there are women out here that ain't with the shits. You feel me? Like, and I think that if you know, your baby mothers have an archetype and you trying to date somebody different, they might not tolerate the fact that your baby mamas are crazy. Because the woman you want probably is on some peaceful shit. She might be like, nigga, if you don't have them in control now, I'm not trying to be in the parking lot fighting these hoes.
Mm.
I'm not trying to listen to you argue with her for 3 hours. We supposed to be going on a date. You feel me? So get your house in order. Wherever you are in this process, get your house in order, establish order, invite someone in a situation where they feel like they can plug and play, and we'll be good. Maybe you'll be another one of the families that's added to the blended families. I think that, I ain't gonna lie, I got on YouTube before, we be talking sometimes, like I was getting lost in the talking points, and I'm like, yo, we gotta start giving real ass advice to people. We gotta stop speaking to what should happen and what is right, but what the hell is really going on. And you know, I want to start to getting us to drill into real life scenarios. And I get it, it might not come off PC or as
Or
inflammatory,
what
but
they want to hear is what they need.
right, this is what the fuck they need to hear, and we gonna give y'all real practical steps that you can do to get your shit together. And I appreciate y'all, man. Like I said, I know it's late. You know, we gotta definitely all get into work. We older now. And I'm gonna say we old. We're older, so you know, my bedtime is creeping up. Losing my voice. But appreciate y'all. Make sure everybody like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel SPS Podcast. Part one of F Them Kids. We'll be back with part two. If you like what you heard so far, make sure you share the stream from the Facebook page. From the YouTube page. Share it to your friends. Share it to someone that might need to hear the advice. If you had some input after you watch this back, make sure you join us for part two. We will always put the StreamYard link into the comments of the YouTube video. They'll also be shared around from most of the panelists. They'll give you a way to click on the links. And, you know, make sure y'all join us for these conversations because we want to get y'all perspective on this thing, and we look forward to growing with y'all. So, Again, we appreciate y'all. And on behalf of the SPS, we out.
All right.
Peace, y'all.